A man walks on the sea, and with one step, he walks a distance of 1 meter, and the ocean is automatically generated under his feet. Every time he lifts his feet, the waves become a pedal for him to set his feet on, and the waves behind him slowly dissipate and return to calm. The calm sea has not been disturbed by the appearance of a certain person, and even, the waves have never appeared for a while. The windless sea, under the control of his thoughts, moved closer and closer as he moved, and the black shadow gradually became clearer. It's a person, it's not a ship, and it's not the horrors of sea kings. A man. Jinbei saw a man, a strange man. The old man who has never seen and has no impression, he came with his hands behind his back. Look up and smile. The eyes of the two are facing each other, and they are different in each other's eyes. Shocked, puzzled, unbelievable, his mood changed repeatedly, Jinbei opened his eyes and took another look. It's real, not fake, and it's not an illusion or hallucination. There is indeed a man in front of you. An incredible thing appeared in front of his eyes. He is not a murloc, but he can do this kind of thing. No swimming, no boats, underfoot, waves, not planks or anything. How is this possible? Is this something humans can do? Devil fruit ability. What ability? All he knew was that he could walk on the sea so easily. There was one person who could do it, Aokiji, a certain powerful combat power of marine. Bingbing fruit, frozen sea, you can walk on it, and even ride a bicycle on it. The appearance of Chen Qingtian shocked Jinbei. He stood up and stared at Chen Qingtian. Why did he come here alone? Vigilant, frowning, in a fighting stance. Is he here to trouble me? Marine has been looking for trouble for them. It was really because their elder brother made too much noise, which caused them to be hunted down all the time. The celestial dragons hated their big brother, who alone rioted in the Holy Land and slaughtered most of the celestial dragons. Fortunately, there is nothing wrong with the Fishmen Island. The king and the queen avoided taboos and separated their relationship. Otherwise, celestial dragons and marine will hold the Fishmen Island accountable. There are gains and losses. Look at the situation again. Jinbei stood on the top and waiting for someone to come. Whether it was a fight or something else, we can wait for him to come. He won't make a move first, just staring quietly. Chen Qingtian looked up and saw a person. It was Jinbei. I have already seen it, but I don't know it clearly, and I only saw the appearance of that person when I got closer. Jinbei is here, so Tiger and the others are also here. The Sun Pirates, the pirates of the Murlocs, are the most famous pirates among the Murlocs, and may be their only pirates. The first pirate group of the Murlocs, the Captain Fisher Tiger, a Murloc respected by the Murlocs. What he did stimulated the cold hearts of the Murlocs. They had hope, followed Big Brother Tiger. Let's fight the sea together. Humans are disgusted by them and even want to kill them. If it wasn't a matter of strength, they might have wanted to kill all the humans that appeared near the Fishmen Island. Jinbei. Not knowing if he missed it, Chen Qingtian quickened his pace and approached the island. After leaving Nine Snakes Island, Chen Qingtian walked every day and encountered various bad weather along the way. He crossed the calm belt, and as soon as he went out, he encountered bad weather. Fortunately, he was lucky, and he was able to run into the hiding place several times and escaped unharmed. Natural forces cannot be resisted by human beings and must be avoided. After wandering for almost a month, he saw a familiar person. Traveling aimlessly, the direction is not determined. Feel free to do whatever you want. He was going to travel for a while and then go home, play for a while, and next time, it might be a long time later. Host. Monkey D. Qingtian, Chen Qingtian, Devil Fruit. Zone Turtle Fruit Phantom Beast Species Basalt Form, Basalt Evolution. 90. Skills. Iron Body LV 93, Finger Pistol 91, Moonwalk LV 90, Shaving LV 92, Tempest Kick LV 90, Paper Arts LV 93, Armament Hakilv 94, Observation Hakilv 94, Conquerors Hakilv 85, Punch LV 90, Life Return LV 90, Swordsmanship LV 86. Iron Body Basalt Body, none. 6 Styles Basalt Boxing, none. Open the Sky with 1 sword. Devil Fruit Abilities. Anti-injury. Covering water, cracking earth, suppressing, dividing heaven, love of the earth, lion majesty, poisonous dragon, Xuanwu pressure. The ability value has exploded, basically reached level 90, only a few skills have not reached level 90. Conqueror's Hockey and Swordsmanship are more difficult to upgrade, rely on self-cultivation. Chen Qingtian focuses on improving Conqueror's Hockey. Conqueror's Hockey must be improved, and it is not bad to be able to upgrade to a level in the later stage. He wants to increase his Conqueror's Hockey to 90, and his Conqueror's Hockey will explode by then. It may take a long time to reach the full level. Chen Qingtian is not in a hurry. As far as the ability in front of him is very luxurious, the punch skill has surpassed level 90, and the power caused by a random punch is unimaginable. The return of life is also level 90, and you can freely control your body, every inch of skin, every inch of muscle, as you like. At this moment, Chen Qingtian is still a long time away from his own death. Another jiazi is not a problem. The body is still in peak condition. Clenching a fist, the sense of strength bursts. Chen Qingtian landed on the island. He walked to Jinbei, waiting for Chen Qingtian. The eyes of the two met. Chen Qingtian took a step forward, and a void appeared, stepped up a few steps, and came in front of Jinbei. Moonwalk, Marine? Feeling vigilant, Jinbei took a fighting stance to meet Chen Qingtian. It was speculation before, but now, the identity of Chen Qingtian is basically confirmed. He is from Marine, and it is impossible to be wrong. Marine 6 styles, a skill exclusive to Marine, is impossible for outsiders to learn. Who are you? What are you doing here? I don't welcome you, please get out of here. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Chen Qingtian pressed his hands and said, Jinbei, don't mess around, I'm not here to fight. Jinbei didn't believe Chen Qingtian's words, Marine, hateful Marine. If it wasn't for them, Big Brother Tiger wouldn't have. The most hateful Marine actually ambushed them. Damn, bastard. Marine, you'd better not move around, otherwise, I don't mind killing a Marine. Chen Qingtian wondered, and said, I'm not Marine, you can't help if you don't believe me. As for me, this time I'm here to find Tiger. Tiger, Fisher Tiger, your big brother, I'm not here to make trouble. Jinbei frowned. Looking for my elder brother. Marine, you have the nerve to say that. You killed my elder brother, and you still want to find his body. Furious, Jinbei fought. He couldn't stand Marine's humiliation. They are so inhumane. They killed the elder brother, and they still want his body to go back to receive the award, which is unreasonable and unforgivable. Die to me. A punch from the Murloc's physical quality that surpassed that of a human, hit Chen Qingtian hard in the chest. Boom. Chen Qingtian's body trembled, and he took a step back. The power of the Murlocs is really powerful. It is more than 10 times stronger than that of humans. It depends on the type of Murlocs. For some Murlocs, it is more than 10 times as simple. Strong vitality, terrifying attack power, shocking life recovery, and the ability to gallop under the sea. They are not afraid of water or the sea. Faced with various natural disasters, they can hide under the sea. It can be said that they are a unique race. If it weren't for the fertility problem, their Murlocs would surpass humans and become the masters of this world. It's a pity that the small number of people has become their pain. There are gains and losses. If not for this, there may not be the Fishmen Island in this world. Marine will not allow threats to their existence. Perhaps because of their natural strength, Murlocs seldom know how to use their bodies, and they seldom exercise. Strong are used to it, so they look down on many things. They have their own pride. As a result, they couldn't produce a strong person. The strongest person was the dead tiger, and then Jinbei. Others may be able to do it in the early stage, but in the later stage, they become ordinary people. How is this possible? Jinbei looked at Chen Qingtian in disbelief, punched him, and hit it, but did not cause any damage. The man took a step back. Yes, a step back, that's all. Then a force returned from the fist, hitting his body. Boom. His fists trembled, his body trembled violently and retreated, falling to the ground. Sitting on the ground, Jinbei was dumbfounded. If you hit him yourself, you will be the one who gets hurt instead, which is unscientific. What's the situation? Why is this happening? Obviously I attacked you. Why is it me who fell down? Strong defensive power, terrifying physical fitness, his fist, as if it touched the hardest steel plate, could not hurt a single bit. An old man with such power, no one will believe it if he tells it. Chen Qingtian swept his chest and said, I told you I'm not looking for trouble for you, Jinbei. Mr. Jinbei, don't be impulsive, you are not impulsive. The old man really wanted to trouble you, so he would have killed you long ago. Or do you think you can stop the old man? Jinbei's expression changed, he couldn't bring himself to fight. The man in front of me may not really be looking for trouble. He knows Brother Tiger, You are late, Brother Tiger is dead. Huh? Chen Qingtian frowned. Did you die? When did it happen? 1 day ago, he lost too much blood and died, Jinbei said sadly. The death of Big Brother Tiger is the loss of their Murlocs. For the Murlocs, losing Big Brother Tiger was equivalent to losing their light. But his light is still warming others. The Sun Pirates also fell apart because of the death of Big Brother Tiger, and those who should leave have all left. Leave the Fishmen Island, go far away. Some people go back to the Fishmen Island and never go out again. A small number of people followed him, obeyed Big Brother Tiger's words, and recognized him as the new captain. Jinbei, the captain of the new Sun Pirates, will lead the Murlocs to another peak. But Jinbei didn't want to take over, and he didn't want to be some kind of captain. He just wants Big Brother Tiger to come back. Can you show me his grave? Death is the most important thing, so it's okay to pay homage. Jinbei hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Come with me. On this island, their eldest brother is buried. Dead. No one will lay hands on their graves. Even Marine will calm down. The main criminal is dead, and the others are nothing to worry about. Following Jinbei through the jungle to Fisher Tiger's tomb, Chen Qingtian saw other Murlocs. Some of them stared at Chen Qingtian angrily, wanting to tear him apart. Humans, if it weren't for humans, their eldest brother wouldn't have died. Damn humans, dare to come here. Jinbei, who is he? Why let a human come over? Kill him, human, if it wasn't for humans, Big Brother Tiger wouldn't have died. Humans, damn it. Some Murlocs recognized Chen Qingtian, and they stared at the old man with wide eyes. His appearance has changed, but his temperament, his smell. And those deep eyes, one glance, I will never forget. You are? Are you that person at that time? It's you. Brothers, stop, he can't move. It's Brother Tiger's friend, brothers. The Murlocs who recognized Chen Qingtian's identity stopped the impulsive Murlocs around them one after another. Under the puzzled eyes of other Murlocs, the person who recognized them talked about those things that year. They, collectively stopped. Jinbei also saw that person from their mouths. The man that Brother Tiger has been talking about is here. The grave is right in front of you. Chen Qingtian took out a jug of wine and poured it on the grave. Dead are dead. It was too fast, I was a step too slow after all. I didn't expect you to die so soon. Hey. I want to meet you for a drink. It seems that the old man is destined to have no chance. Let me drink this pot of wine for you. Death is so sudden. A man who is alive and well, dies when he says he will die. No symptoms. The battle between humans and Murlocs starts from this moment. Oppression before was oppression, now it is hatred. Most of those who stayed were yearning for peace. They wept silently, listening to Chen Qingtian's words, they couldn't hold back the tears. There is nothing more sad than this. After worshipping Tiger, Chen Qingtian was pulled aside by Jinbei, thanking him for coming to Brother Tiger. I also thank him for saving many tribesmen from danger. Those who suffered were liberated, thanks to him and the eldest brother. The death of the celestial dragons, they don't care. Knowing that those people have been tortured and studied, their emotions are complicated. Celestial dragons, above humans, they are the cancer. Later, what do you think? Chen Qingtian asked Jinbei. Without his eldest brother, he might be lost. The future is uncertain, don't know what to do. With his brothers, nowhere to go. At this moment, he seemed to understand the difficulty of his eldest brother. The combat effectiveness is weakened, not as good as the previous Sun Pirates. I don't know. I want to go back to the Fishmen Island first, tell the king about Big Brother Tiger, and then take them to wander around. Chen Qingtian nodded. This is undoubtedly the best way. Go back to the Fishmen Island first, and hide for a while. Then move on to the sea. Why don't you find a strong person to protect them? I believe many people will like you. Murloc has too many advantages, and many people will like it. After all, when fighting, they are too useful. Especially fighting on the sea, they have a natural advantage, control the sea, and thus control everything. That's a good idea, too, but I don't think they'll agree. The pride of the Murlocs would not allow them to bow their heads. Joining other people's pirates is equivalent to destroying the Sun Pirates. The Murlocs would not agree, nor would they let Jinbei do that, unless they were all dead. Brother Tiger's hard work cannot be ruined in Jinbei's hands, nor can it be ruined in their hands. No one is qualified to destroy the Sun Pirates established by Big Brother Tiger. Although it has only been a few years, their feelings, respect and love for Big Brother Tiger surpass everything. It's a pity that a man with charisma died like this. Tiger's death is an unprecedented loss for the Fishmen Island. All good beginnings, at this moment, have become despair. This bad news, no one wants to hear. The fact has already happened, and they don't want to accept it, so what can they do? They will change, in the future, who knows? Chen Qingtian sighed. Your existence is too intrusive. If many pirates don't get it, they will destroy you. You can figure it out, but you are afraid that when the time comes, he will hear the news of the Sun Pirates' destruction. The future of Murlocs may be far, far away. In the next few years, there will always be turmoil, losing the leader Tiger, and the Murlocs have been dissatisfied with the king of the Fishmen Island for a long time. Thinking about what happened to the Fishmen Island later, hey. The fate of the Sun Pirates may be similar to the original one. He thought that he might be able to save Tiger by rushing here. Who knows, he is still dead. The sea is very dangerous. Your strength is good, but it is only for the front of New World. When it comes to New World, your strength, to be honest, is not enough. Chen Qingtian said lightly, to the real strong, you are nothing but punks. In the eyes of the strong, they are small dishes. Kill casually, without thinking, and without hindrance. Jinbei wanted to refute, but he knew what Chen Qingtian said was true. Murlocs, to the strong, are weak, very weak. Even if they are born strong, it is very difficult for them to improve the day after tomorrow. There is no systematic teaching and no method. Human cultivation methods are not suitable for them. They don't bother to use it, they always insist that their method is the best. You can easily find that the physical fitness of many Murlocs is just a little stronger than normal people. They don't exercise, they don't improve themselves, or they improve only limitedly. Innately strong, can't stop the decline of the day after tomorrow. Well, I know that too, but they don't believe it. Jinbei is different from other Murlocs. He is calm, wise, steady, and most of the time, he is a strategist. It is often possible to see through the essence of the problem and thus see the impact behind it. Arlong and the others were too radical, thinking about killing people, killing humans, but he didn't know how much consequences would be caused by doing so. Humans dominate the world, not whatever they want. Murlocs are a rare race after all, they cannot fight against humans. You can only silently improve yourself and protect your own people. Blindly killing people is not enough. The reason why Tiger handed over the position of captain to Jinbei was after consideration. Jinbei will lead the Murlocs to glory. Maybe, with more experience, they will naturally understand. At that time, I don't know how many people will die. Hey. Jinbei sighed, he didn't want to go through it, but he had to go through it. Some things must be done. In the afternoon, they set off and went back to the Fishman Island. They are very familiar with the way back, and they don't need someone to lead the way. Along the way, stop and go, Chen Qingtian followed them. To be honest, he hasn't been to the Fishman Island yet. I don't know if it is as beautiful as imagined, but it is said that Murlocs are very beautiful. Really wanted to go and see, Chen Qingtian couldn't help thinking of the beauty of the Murlocs. Only for beauties, not beauties, don't enter the Fishman Island, they have not experienced storms. In the bottom of the sea, I met some pirates, they wanted to arrest the beautiful Murlocs and sell them as slaves. When Jinbei and the others met, the Murlocs, who were already angry, rushed forward. Tore up those ships and humans, and Chen Qingtian would not interfere with their deaths. Scum. When you die, there is nothing to be sad about. As they dived, they encountered some arresting ships. Those ships were here to arrest slaves, and there were their results on them. Jinbei and the others went up, tore them apart, and saved the tribe. They shredded whatever they saw, and the surrounding ships were much cleaner after being cleaned. When they reached the bottom of the sea, they couldn't be the opponents of the Murlocs. It's so heroic, those people, for the sake of money, really don't want their lives. To do this kind of thing, most of them are wanted by celestial dragons, and some of them are wanted by those nobles. Money is a good thing. Many people take risks for money. Arresting Murlocs is the easiest and most profitable. Hunting pirates is too difficult to beat. After cleaning, they entered the Fishman Island, where they could clearly feel the air under the sea. The Fishman Island is located 10,000 meters below Marie Joy's, one is the highest and the other is the lowest. The existence of the two is the two important positions of the Grand Line. Above, can pass through, into the New World. The Fishman Island below can also enter the New World. There are two roads. Most people choose the lower road. The upper road is too dangerous. They have not entered New World and were arrested by Marine. This has led to the Fishman Island being harassed all the time, and it has always been the favorite of some pirates. There is an endless stream of ships, gorgeous. The Fishman Island is beautiful. Entering it, you will be confused by the scene inside. It's really beautiful. Strange buildings, mainly the Murloc beauties inside, one or two, both are very beautiful. Their arrival is quietly, without letting others know. Chen Qingtian's human identity is also a sensitive one, and the Murlocs are vigilant. He doesn't care, anyway, what other people think, it's other people's business, he won't think about it. Walking all the way, he wanted to go for a walk alone, and he was stopped by Jinbei. The bottom of the sea is very dangerous. There are many dangers, you'd better follow me. The Fishman Island is not safe. Here, there are also some radicals. When they see human beings, they want to kill them. Although someone is pressing, those people will still do it. If you want to go shopping, I will take you for a walk after I finish reporting. When Jinbei said this, Chen Qingtian had no reason to refuse. He could only follow Jinbei and the others, and entered the palace without hindrance, where he met the legendary character, Princess Yi. Murloc Shirahoshi's mother, a woman with a small body, gave birth to a huge beauty like Shirahoshi. Many people were shocked, and some even wondered how she was born. The king of the Fishmen Island is Neptune, a wise and cowardly man. His strength is not very good, maybe it is because he is the king that many people love him. He has worked hard for the survival of the Fishmen Island all his life, creating conditions for the ordinary Murlocs below to live peacefully. Princess Otahime is the executor of the concept of peaceful coexistence. In order to coexist peacefully with mankind, she constantly talks about the beautiful world and the beautiful side of mankind. The purpose is to live in peace. The Murlocs are weak and cannot be tough, and if they are not strong, they will be tough, and the final outcome is perdition. Survival is the most important thing, the others are nothing but whim. Tiger, the Murloc hero, left the Fishmen Island after he made trouble, not because the Fishmen Island didn't protect him, but because Tiger didn't want to drag the Fishmen Island down. After all, celestial dragons blamed it, and it was no small matter. The Fishmen Island can be what it is today, because many Murlocs sacrificed their lives for it. When Princess Otahime got the news of Tag's death, she passed out. When the Murlocs behind heard the bad news, they all showed sad expressions. Sure enough, even the Murloc hero Tiger is dead. Marine, that's too bad. How could they treat Brother Tiger like this? Brother Tiger, how could you die? Brother Tiger. No, Brother Tiger. After Jinbei told, 1 or 2 of the Murlocs below were crying. In their hearts, there is a rule not to transfuse human blood. Just like Big Brother Tiger died because of blood, the blood donations of humans and Murlocs cannot be mixed. They are them. Murlocs are Murlocs. The Murlocs would not accept shameful blood. Would rather die than receive human blood. From then on, Murlocs had new rules. Chen Qingtian didn't speak, but quietly stood aside. He didn't want to be the target of attack. The Murlocs are angry now. If they make them unhappy, they will be in trouble. Fortunately, they were all in grief, and no one noticed Chen Qingtian's arrival. All day long, the Fishmen Island is sad. Everyone, weeping at home. In a certain corner, a group of Murlocs had gloomy faces, not believing what they heard. Brother Tiger is dead. He really died, at the hands of humans. Many Murlocs are plotting, and they cannot spare humans. There are some aggressive Murlocs, rush out and hunt the nearby pirates. Even if they die, kill them. A cleanup operation started, and the surrounding pirate ships were attacked. Being pulled into the sea by the Murlocs, the capable person loses his ability, but he is not a capable person because of breathing problems, so he is not a match for the Murlocs. In their home field, all human beings cannot escape death. The bloody red revenge unfolded, and there were no ships around. The Fishmen Island has returned to calm. Princess Otahime, who had fainted, woke up and immediately confirmed the truth of the news. Jinbei confirmed again and again that Big Brother Tiger is dead and it is impossible to come back to life. Princess Otahime fainted again. Then, she woke up, 2 hours later. During this period, Chen Qingtian and others waited inside and were received by the king. I ate a meal of the Fishmen Island's unique food, a lot, countless seafood, many I have never seen, and at the moment, they are all on the table. Chen Qingtian is in charge of eating, and Jinbei is in charge of chatting. After a meal, Princess Otaki woke up again and wanted to meet Jinbei. Jinbei, Chen Qingtian and others went over, and the other Murlocs were arranged outside. Jinbei went in with King Neptune, and the princess was helped to sit up. With tears in her eyes, she asked, "Is Tiger really dead?" "Princess, Brother Tiger is dead. I buried it with my own hands." Jinbei didn't want to hurt the princess, and he didn't want to hide the truth. They will know about this matter soon. The death of Big Brother Tiger is undoubtedly a blow. A blow to the entire the Fishmen Island. No one wants to believe this result. They would rather believe in the destruction of the world than in the death of Big Brother Tiger. The mighty Big Brother Tiger actually died. Princess Othime couldn't stop the tears from flowing. She was extremely sad. She hugged King Neptune and kept crying, but it was of no use for Neptune to comfort her. The family farce unfolds, and Princess Otahime is very emotional after the crying is over. Her eyes were red and her eyelids were swollen. She wiped away her tears to hide her sadness. "Jinbei, can you bring Tiger's body back? I want to bury him on the Fishmen Island." Jinbei sighed. "Princess, is it not okay?" Jinbei nodded. "Brother Tiger doesn't want to come back. Outside, it may be the eternal home of Big Brother Tiger." Fallen leaves return to their roots. Without roots, where do they return? Woohoo! Sure enough, Tiger is still there. Princess Othime cried again. It is really a woman made of water. Who Shirahoshi looks like, at this moment, is the clearest. With such a mother, can there be no such daughter? Jinbei and the others got screwed over. Wangfei, it's not what you think. Don't cry, it's annoying. The crying stopped. Princess Otahime continued to ask. About Tiger, no matter the details, she asked. Finally, she blamed herself. Tiger is still blaming us, Neptune. I know. Neptune hugged his wife and kept comforting him. He knew it all, but there was nothing he could do. The Fishmen Island has no strength to compete with the humans outside. Marine will not touch them. If Tiger comes back, Marine will find an excuse to make trouble for them. At that time, the whole the Fishmen Island will be in disaster. He also wanted to protect Tiger, but hey. Who can understand the difficulty of the king? After all, he resisted everything alone. Jinbei, do you want to inherit Tiger's dream and move forward? Jinbei nodded. Brother Tiger's dream, I will inherit it. I will lead them to peace. Otahime was sad. 1 or 2 left. They couldn't stay in the Fishmen Island after all. The Fishmen Island is weak and can't help them. Seeing their subjects leave the Fishmen Island and go to the outside world alone, Otahime and Neptune are even more sad. They have no ability to protect them. It's all their fault. If they were strong, nothing like that would have happened. Jinbei, Tiger is dead. Princess Yiji is worried. The outside world is too scary, and she is also afraid of Jinbei. The powerful Tiger is no match for Marine, and Jinbei's weakened version of the Sun Pirates is even less likely to be Marine's opponent. Princess, don't worry. I will avoid them and won't conflict with them. I won't take the lead until my strength is insufficient. Against Marine, it is temporarily unrealistic. Dodge first, develop wretchedly, wait until later, and then make trouble. Jinbei didn't want to be killed without doing anything. They chatted for a long time. Princess Otahime and Neptune finally noticed Chen Qingtian, and they looked at Chen Qingtian. Jinbei introduced. King, Princess, this is Brother Tiger's friend. Then, he whispered in their ears about the deeds of Chen Qingtian and Big Brother Tiger. There are some things that cannot be known by too many people, as long as they know it themselves. Princess Yiji and Neptune were shocked, and they looked at Chen Qingtian in amazement. Neptune and Princess Otoji were shocked. They stared at Chen Qingtian with strange eyes, looked up and down, and got to know the man in front of him. To be precise, he was an old man. An old man, even 3 years ago, is still an old man. He personally went to Marie Joy's with Tiger to save the slaves. It is conceivable that his strength is not bad. A person who can do that kind of thing is not a simple person. I didn't see that Marine didn't come out with a reward list, which means he hasn't been discovered. It is also possible that Tiger took over all by himself, and the person who can do this by Tiger is not a simple person. Princess Otahime stared at the old man in front of her seriously. She could listen to the voices of others. All along, there is no disadvantage. Even Tiger, in front of her, can listen to a thing or two. But in front of Chen Qingtian, she didn't hear anything. There is a blur in front of my eyes, and what I see and hear are all false. It was as if the person in front of him had never existed before, disappearing into the dust of history. She took a few steps back in shock, and the King Neptune behind her supported her, and then she stopped slightly. Neptune asked in a low voice, "What's wrong?" Princess Otoji shook her head, but said nothing. Some words are inappropriate to say now. Chen Qingtian sensed a wave of probing, and he knew that it was Princess Otahime who was probing his heart, so he smiled lightly. A smile shocked Princess Otahime even more. Her face turned pale. Jinbei didn't know what happened in it. After he introduced the nearby buildings to Chen Qingtian. In the palace, they did not stay for long. After all, it is the Mermaid Palace, so it is already very inconceivable for a human being to appear in it. It really doesn't make sense to keep him overnight. Especially at this special time. Be careful. Jinbei explained to Chen Qingtian. We can't live in the palace. It's best we leave early. Maybe we have to leave tomorrow. Are you leaving with us, or? Chen Qingtian shook his head. It's still not possible. You guys go to New World, and I don't want to go to New World. I want to go home. I haven't been back for many years. I miss it. I guess there was a lot of quarrel at home. Don't know what happened to that kid Garp. Maybe he was entangled and couldn't get out. Jinbei asked curiously. Old man, where is your home? It's a very remote place. You might not even know it. Chen Qingtian didn't mention the specific location, but ignored it in one word. Jinbei felt a pity that he couldn't set off with the old man. One more person, one more security. If the old man wanted to leave, he couldn't stop him. After all, the old man is not young, it's time to go back and enjoy the blessings. Old man, you live here first. If you need anything, you can call me. I live next door to you. Jinbei reminded, old man, don't wander around recently. The Fishmen Island, there are always some people who want to make trouble. After Big Brother Tiger died, those unwilling people appeared one after another. They have natural malice towards human beings, and they admire Big Brother Tiger, so they obey Big Brother's orders. But it's different now, they are all angry and easy to do stupid things. Human beings are the object of their venting. Jinbei doesn't want them to provoke Chen Qingtian. When the time comes, he doesn't know where to stand. I know, I won't go out, the Fishmen Island, I've been here too, I've seen it, it's not in vain. Beautiful, the Fishmen Island, really beautiful. Chen Qingtian also went to the palace, and Chen Qingtian's trip was worthwhile. The rooms arranged by Jinbei are not bad, the local characteristic rooms are quite charming. Inside the palace, Neptune finally couldn't help asking, Otahime, what did you hear? Princess Otoji shook her head, her face pale. Neptune, I said I didn't hear anything, do you believe me? Neptune was shocked, and so were the ministers behind him. This news is not good news. In the past, Princess Otahime's ability to eavesdrop on her heart was always unfavorable. Unexpectedly, this time, it failed. It was the first failure, and none of the people I met before had tried it, and Chen Qingtian was the first person. Ma'am, this is not good news. Isn't that human being scary? If so, we cannot tell what his purpose is. What are we going to do with him? Whether it is good or bad, good or evil is unknown, they dare not act rashly. In case, if the guests are upset, they will lose their face. Neptune asked again. Are you sure you heard right? Princess Otoji shook her head, she knew very well that her own abilities would not be ineffective. If my ability fails, there is only one possibility. This person's strength is very strong, and the observation haki is very strong, at least surpassing my observation haki. He is very strong, and when I eavesdropped on his voice, he found me. This is the most shocking thing about Princess Otahime, she was found out. Since she gained the ability, she has not been discovered by anyone. Chen Qingtian was the first to discover it, and he discovered it the first time it was used on him. Terrible humans. Hiss. Neptune, the ministers and sons behind him gasped, they couldn't believe the news they heard. That man unexpectedly discovered the ability of the Empress. What a horrible thing, never before. Otahime, come up with an idea, how we should face him. Neptune didn't dare to give random orders, waiting for Otahime's suggestion. Princess Otoji said palely, treat him well, don't have any problems, and don't let those people affect him. Jinbei said that he will leave soon, and he will only stay for a day at most. What we want to ensure is that there will be no accidents on this day. Neptune turned back and said, I'll arrange for me to watch and protect him, understand? Ministers. Yes. Sons, boys obey. A group of people, go to protect Chen Qingtian, prevent some people from provoking Chen Qingtian, so as not to bring disaster to the Fishmen Island. This series of actions frightened Jinbei, thinking that there was some secret order from the palace to target Chen Qingtian. Fortunately, after the ministers explained, they came to protect Chen Qingtian, don't get me wrong. Jinbei breathed a sigh of relief, he was really afraid that the king made a wrong decision and caused the Fishmen Island to collapse. I see, next time before you make any big moves, can you tell me in advance? The ministers apologized one after another, they admitted their mistake, and asked Jinbei to explain their reason for coming to Chen Qingtian, so as not to misunderstand or be nervous. Jinbei nodded and told them not to get too close, so as not to cause bad influence. Chen Qingtian greeted Jinbei's arrival. Jinbei wanted to speak. Chen Qingtian raised his hand. Needless to say, I know why they came. Jinbei's eyes widened. Huh? Chen Qingtian laughed. I said I know. Jinbei, are you surprised? Jinbei nodded, he hadn't said anything yet, how did he know? Chen Qingtian touched his cheek. Thinking about what to say, he asked casually, Jinbei, do you know observation haki? Of course I know, I happen to also know observation haki, Jinbei said seriously. Then do you know what is the effect of observation haki practiced to a high level? Jinbei said weakly, eavesdropping on your heart? More than that, that's just one of the abilities, which is a manifestation of personal talent. Observation haki has been cultivated to a high level and can predict the future. Predict future? No way? Jinbei's eyes widened, he couldn't believe what he heard. Looking at Chen Qingtian's serious face, he confirmed that what he said was true, not false. Observation haki can predict the future. This is the first time he knows this, and this will be buried deep in his heart. A day spent safe, a night protected, is boring. The Fishmen Island Palace was afraid that he would get angry and cause a riot. For the Fishmen Island Palace, this day was a day of torture. After a difficult time, it finally passed. Neptune breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Chen Qingtian and others leave with his own eyes. Finally gone, I'm afraid something will happen to him on the Fishmen Island. The minister was also afraid. Yes, I was frightened all day yesterday, for fear that something might happen. Princess Odahime felt the same. I tried it again today, but the result is still the same. No change, just as invisible as yesterday. Blurred people, unfathomable hearts, nothing can be seen. Princess Yi Ji didn't want to go to see it a second time, but couldn't help it. Before leaving, Chen Qingtian turned her head and gave her a smile. It seemed that he had been discovered again. Fortunately, he was not angry. I'm really afraid that he will get angry and take the blame on the Fishmen Island. Princess Othime felt guilty for her recklessness. If the Fishmen Island suffered due to her own snooping, she would have to bear the blame. Fortunately, it's all over. Chen Qingtian didn't care about her prying eyes. Rising to the surface of the sea, Jinbei bid farewell to Chen Qingtian. Two people waved. Chen Qingtian started wandering alone, while Jinbei seemed to have decided where to go. Last night, the two of them chatted together, and Jinbei asked him for advice on what to do in the future and how to do it. Chen Qingtian made a suggestion. There are several options, it depends on how he chooses. In the new world, there are only a few people who can follow. The best choice is Whitebeard Newgate, at least follow him, nothing will happen. Now Whitebeard is the strongest man in the sea, and he has a moment of glory. Aunt Linlin also showed her strength. Without the obstruction of Golden Lion Shiki, a new round of battle began. Linlin occupied most of the territory and started her own way to dominate. Kaido of the Beasts left Linlin, formed the pirate group alone, and ventured into the new world. Over the years, he has gained a new reputation. He has great ambitions and wants to occupy a place like Linlin and the others. New World is still in turmoil. Many pirates rush in, looking for Roger's treasure, and by the way, dominate New World. The establishment of a new force has to experience challenges. Every day, every moment, pirates come to challenge. Whitebeard is the least challenged. He is so strong and famous that many pirates are frightened. Jinbei and the others went. The future is uncertain. It would be best to turn to Whitebeard, but the odds are slim. Followed by Aunt Charlotte Linlin, who followed Linlin and got shelter. As for Kaido, it is best not to follow, so as not to be treated as cannon fodder. Although Aunt is a bit crazy, at least she is okay with the people below. As long as you have strength and get her approval, she will not kill you. These are all things to say later. How Jinbei and the others make a choice depends on their own choice. The future is theirs. Regarding the practice of observation hockey, I also talked about some experience. Whether you can understand it or not depends on yourself. It may be related to the savvy of the Murlocs. God gave them a powerful body, so they have to deprive them of some abilities. Comprehension may be something they don't have. Armament hockey, Jinbei has awakened, and also practiced. Chen Qingtian was not stingy, and told him some useful cultivation methods, which can quickly improve his strength. Last night, we talked a lot. As a result, they didn't sleep all night, and Jinbei, as if he had found a confidant, talked about everything. No wonder Tiger's boss recognized him. It turns out that he really knows everything. He answered all his questions. The Slim, in that instant, disappeared. He also understood the difficulties of the Fishmen Island, understood the thoughts of the boss, and understood the practices of many people. The Fishmen Island, his hometown, the last pure land in his life, he can't let people destroy it, no one can. Blue. Chen Qingtian walked on the sea for a long time, maybe half a month. Didn't come across a boat, just bad luck. When you don't want it, you can meet it at any time. When you want it, no matter how you pray to God, it is impossible to meet it. He eats and drinks every day and relies on fish. He killed several sea kings and put them in his stomach. Stop and go. Look at the scenery, along the way, have a very pleasant life. Take out the phone and answer it. Father, where are you? You finally answered the phone. Damn it, Ace, don't move around, I'm on the phone. Father, can you hear me? Talk. Hey, Ace, if you move around again, I will beat you up. Then there was the sound of violent beating, and the cry of a child came. Ace was taken back by him. Now, Garp is a baby daddy. It is his duty to educate his grandson. Father, talk, don't pretend, I know you are listening. An angry Garp, talking a lot in one breath. Many dissatisfaction broke out at this moment. During the period, how many calls were made, but my father didn't answer any of them. Today, I finally took it, and I vented all the pain I suffered during this period, the pain of being tortured by Ace. Do you know that I? Crackling said a lot, and it was all homely. Chen Qingtian just listened, didn't speak, and waited quietly for him to finish. Half an hour later, Garp finished complaining and asked, "Father, when will you be back?" Eager, praying, longing, he was afraid of being tortured, and wanted to be a shopkeeper and walk around like his father. "I don't know. It depends on the situation. If it is fast, it will be a year or two. It may be years. If it is slow, I can't say for sure." Year? F*K. Father, are you a devil? Father, come back quickly. Where are you now? I will send someone to pick you up. Chen Qingtian lied. I'm in New World, and I can't get away for the time being. You wait for me, hold on for a few more years, and my father will go back soon. Garp, come on. Father believes you can do it. Father, you. Do. Beep beep. Phone, hang up. Garp looked at the phone, unable to contain his anger. Keep calling. No matter how he dials, no one answers. Father, ignore him. Ah, damn it. Ace, let's go, Grandpa will take you to play. Then, Ace's screams continued. This Garp, you want Lousy to take care of Ace, you think too much, you are only so small, Lousy should not find something for himself to do. Let you take it with you for another year or so, when the time comes, the old man will naturally go back. I don't know what happened to Drago. How old is the old man's great-grandson, have you brought him back to Garp? He wanted to see if Garp would break down when he saw the picture of Luffy. One ace is enough to break him, another Luffy and he'll explode. Then there's Sabo, 3 of them, he's crazy. After thinking about it, he walked onto the island and finally saw the island. It was too hard to set foot on this island. A voice was heard in the ear, and then, a man jumped into the air and chopped down with a huge black knife. Chen Qingtian stepped back, black knife, tearing the ground. The man stared at Chen Qingtian coldly, pointed the black knife at Chen Qingtian. You, now, immediately, leave. Here, outsiders are not allowed to approach. Chen Qingtian. Boy, do your parents know that you are so pushy? Keep outsiders away. Is this island yours? Generally speaking, when Chen Qingtian met this kind of person, he would give them a big fight first, and then beat him until his mother didn't even recognize him. Dare to pull in front of Lousy like this, is it floating? Or is it that the old man's 30-meter broadsword can't be lifted? Chen Qingtian looked at the man in front of him, a boy, an innocent boy, wearing a black top hat with tufted white fluff, holding a long black knife, wearing a long wine-red cape, short hair, and a pair of sharp eyes like an eagle. The raised eyebrows gave people a feeling of being crazy, coupled with his taste in speech. One could tell at a glance that he was a gangster who didn't grow up in other people's families and came out to mix in the society. If he had dyed his hair the color of a traffic light, it might be a little more unorthodox, in line with the contemporary killer. The first feeling was very bad. When Chen Qingtian was looking at him, he was also looking at Chen Qingtian. A stranger, an old man, unkempt, not well-growed, with sly eyes, one can tell that he is not a good person. Both of them had bad first impressions of each other. One is the young boy who hangs on the sky, the first choice of the contemporary non-mainstream. One is an old man, a bad old man, not a good person. The two looked at each other and frowned at each other. Mihawk, the world's great swordsman, is known as the world's #1 swordsman. A maverick man, a lonely man who never walks with others, just like his appearance, he does not go with others. There is not much difference between the young him and the middle-aged him. The same is so pulled, so hung, so fried. Young man, the old man can't leave here. This place is not yours, you have no right to drive the old man away. You are not the master here. Old man, I won't leave. So, don't threaten the old man here. Hawkeye Mihawk frowned, his dark and swollen eyebrows were raised up, looking straight at Chen Qingtian. I'll say it again, you leave here, outsiders are not welcome here. He is the master here, no one is welcome near. Chen Qingtian pointed to the island and said, is this island yours, boy? Mihawk nodded. So how do you prove it's yours? Hawkeye Mihawk. How to prove? This is a question he didn't expect. Chen Qingtian's words hit his blind spot and he couldn't speak clearly. Generally speaking, islands belong to whoever occupies them. There are many islands in the world, many uninhabited islands, the first one you occupy is yours. Everyone can attest to this. Also, if you are strong enough, you can also occupy the island. Fists are everything. Mihawk's long knife pointed at Chen Qingtian. The black blade was extremely sharp, and the point the blade pointed at was mine. Is that enough? Young man, do you think it's appropriate to attack an old man? Mihawk, doesn't matter who you are, no matter adults, children, old people, or women, you can't get close. Whoever gets close will accept his punishment. My patience is limited, old man. So good. The way he spoke, his tone of voice, and that look in his eyes, were too alluring. Chen Qingtian sized him up again, and said with a smile, young man, if the old man doesn't leave, what will you do? Are you going to beat the old man? Do you understand respecting the old and loving the young man? It is wrong for you to behave like this. Didn't your parents teach you to respect the elderly, but not to do anything to them? HMPH. Mahak said angrily, I'll say it one last time, can you go, old man? One old man at a time, no respect for the elderly at all. Boy, you will be beaten if you go out like this. Be careful that your mother doesn't know you if someone beats you up, and it's useless to regret it then. Today's young man has never experienced suffering, is self-righteous, and cannot be saved. Rubbing his hands, raising his eyebrows, he said lightly, young man, ouch, wait, don't rush to do it. Hakai Mahak didn't give him a chance to speak, so he drew out his black knife and slashed whenever he met. I want to kill you, but I won't talk to you. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Let's call first and then talk. I have to say that Mahak is really attractive, which fits his temperament. Cannot talk nonsense. Try not to talk nonsense. Instead of talking nonsense with you, it is better to start early and drive you away, so that he can enjoy the quietness of being alone. Drink. He raised his hand and cut through Chen Qingtian. It was a shadow, moving away, attacking, missing. Mahak was surprised, his eyes fluctuated, and he attacked again. It's nothing if an attack is avoided. The second attack was also dodged. He had to face up to the old man in front of him, he was not as weak as he appeared on the surface. This person is weird. Young man, it's wrong for you to do this. If you want to kill the old man, don't you really want to kill the old man? Hey, can you not come over here? The old man doesn't want to fight, let alone fight with you. It's a headache, boy. Ding, Mahak, a non-mainstream young man, is very arrogant. It is unreasonable to attack an old man. Has he forgotten the traditional virtue of respecting the old and caring for the young, or is it that he hasn't learned it? For a young man who doesn't like to study, it's not okay to be a non-mainstream at a young age. His behavior seriously stimulates you and makes you want to care for him, regardless of body and mind, or his proud swordsmanship. We all want to love him. As an elder, we can't let him continue to drag him down. We have to educate him well, let him know how to respect the old and love the young, and let him know that he can't just use a knife on others. Mission. Show him what real swordsmanship is. Remember, you must beat him. Reward. Unknown. Remarks. Defeat him where he is best at, and then ravage him to your heart's content, torture him, and make him doubt life. Here comes the task, a very non-mainstream task, to educate him and care for him. What Mahak is good at is not swordsmanship, you have to use swordsmanship to defeat him. Chen Qingtian likes this kind of thing the most, he just wants to educate him well, so that he will not think that the world is his. Young man, it's wrong to attack indiscriminately, your swordsmanship is not good. Dodging the slash, Chen Qingtian evaluated while walking. None of Mahak's attacks hit him. Every time, the man who was perfectly avoided by him and strolled in the courtyard was extremely chic. Mahak's black knife couldn't touch Chen Qingtian's clothes, not even the wind around him. It was not a hallucination or luck that he failed to slash more than a dozen times in a row. The old man in front of him was weird, very weird. Mahak became interested, and a strong man came. Very good. I haven't met an opponent for a long time, today, then you sacrifice to heaven. The old man worships the heavens, and his mana is boundless. You are my opponent. Coming to the island, Mahak, who has never left here, was very excited when he met his opponent. How can you not be happy that the swordsmanship that has been practiced for many years has been verified today? As for what Chen Qingtian said about his bad swordsmanship, he wouldn't take it to heart. Defeat him and prove that your swordsmanship is no problem. A swordsmanship that can kill is a good swordsmanship. His Tao heart will not be shaken by other people's words, let alone be punctured. Mahak said coldly, old man, you have to hold on, I don't want you to die so soon. It was hard to find a person who practiced his hands, so he couldn't just die. Mahak got serious, his hand clenched the black knife. The black broadsword waved, shaking the air, and the surrounding air seemed to be torn apart. Huge movement, the head start. Mahak is very good at the prelude, first to shock your mind, and then to shake your mind. His black knife, always black, as if covered by armament hockey. Chen Qingtian understood that it wasn't armament hockey, but the black knife was originally black, the stronger the sword skill, the darker the black knife. The black knife, which was as tall as his body, should feel very cool in his hand. Mainly handsome, young man, as long as he is handsome. A knife is enough, wherever you go, you are the protagonist. Chen Qingtian was empty-handed, and it was not easy to hit Mahawk. He bent down and picked up a branch. Skimming off the excess branches, a small straight branch appeared. Chen Qingtian held the thick end in the sharp end, exposing the outside. Compared with the black knife, the branches are so small and fragile. The two are incomparable, one is the blade and the other is the branch. Mahawk was angry, he was underestimating himself. There is no reason for this, why should he look down on me? Where's your knife, old man? Chen Qingtian said disdainfully. Hey, this is my sword, young man, come on. Everything can be a sword, a branch is enough. You don't need a good blade or a famous knife, just a branch will do. Hearing this, Mahawk was furious. It's unreasonable, old man, there is a limit to underestimating people. Since you are looking for death, don't blame me for being rude. Mahawk was angry and rushed forward. With the black knife, he slashed straight down. He has practiced swordsmanship alone for many years, and he knows his own black knife well. Where is the best attack, and where is the sharpest? He knows exactly how hard to attack and what posture to use. As a swordsman, he must first understand his own knife, the black knife, and every inch of skin, he knows it like the palm of his hand. Practice every day, wipe. Treat He Dao like his own child, no, his own life. The man is with the sword, and the sword is dead, and the man is dead. The black knife merged with his life into one. Cannot be separated. Boom. The ground was split apart by a slash. A deep groove appeared, and Chen Qingtian felt the deep groove under his feet. If he hit his body, it would be terrible. Mahawk has yours. So hard to an old man. Do you really want to kill the old man? Oh, what a terrible slash. I'm so scared. With a wretched and lazy expression, he said such words. Mahawk frowned, unable to cut him. Obviously he was about to hit it, but he dodged it. Once so, twice. This happens every time. There were several more attacks, and without exception, they were dodged. Chen Qingtian showed a frightened expression every time, seemingly frightened, but actually mocking him. Your attack is just like that, it can't hurt me at all. So angry. There is a breath in Mahawk's heart, squeeze it there, attack once, and gather a breath. Now, in a panic, he wants to vent out. The black knife emitted a black aura. A murderous aura emanated from him. The faint murderous aura is the murderous aura born from his hunting with the wild beasts on the island over the years. His murderous aura is condensed. It has to be said that Mahawk's talent is really strong, and he can cultivate to this level by himself. Black knife. Black knife slashing, ordinary and ordinary slashing. Driven by the breath, the strong murderous aura turned into a white knife light. The ground was torn apart when it touched the knife light. The light of the knife is getting bigger and bigger. In front of Chen Qingtian's eyes, the height surpassed his body. The white knife light is very charming. Chen Qingtian wanted to avoid it, so he could dodge it with a simple move. He didn't do this, he raised his hand, and the branch in his hand came out black. Armament hockey hardened. The branches all turned black, and in an instant, they were all black. Stabbing forward, the light of the knife looks terrifying, but in fact, the power is too scattered. Take a rankar. With a light stab, the most vulnerable place in the light of the knife split open. Then, the knife light shattered like glass and fell apart. Bang. The ground around him was torn apart by the light of the knife, and deep pits appeared in front of him. The branches returned to their original colors. Move, hold on. The smile never disappeared. Smiling slightly, the corners of his mouth raised. That's it. Your swordsmanship is so-so, young man. Do you have a stronger attack? Let's use it together. Disdainful ridicule is the most deadly. Mahawk was moved, he pointed at Chen Qingtian, he saw the scene just now. The branch really defeated his own attack, the old man on the opposite side didn't even move a little bit, the light of his knife scattered. It's that simple as eating. Humph. Life has been insulted. He is stimulating himself and humiliating himself. He is saying that my swordsmanship is not very good. In this case, lousy will show you what real swordsmanship is. Drink. The bells and whistles Mahawk abandoned, rushed up, and head-to-head with Chen Qingtian. Don't talk nonsense with you, just do it directly. Ouch, it's so scary. Young man, don't act like you are bitter and bitter, come on, give this old man a laugh. Mahawk. I laughed at you, mother. Die to lousy, don't be disgusting here. Drink. Attack, fall. Ranged attacks are useless, so fight melee. The two wrestled together, black knives were often blocked by branches. Time and time again, blocked countless times, his attacks couldn't reach Chen Qingtian, and he had a few more wounds on his body. An old man who strolls in the garden, every step is art. Twist your body, give him a kick, and kick him away. Take another step forward, and the branch will tear his clothes. The hat was also pinched in his hand, blown on it, and put it on top of his head. Doesn't it look good, young man? Mahawk. Shame. My hat was snatched away and still worn on top of my head. There is no reason for this. Scholars can be killed, but not humiliated. Being treated like this for the first time, Mahawk was so angry that he couldn't suppress it. Damn it, you, damn it. Cut the nonsense, it's hard to say a complete sentence. Chen Qingtian likes to see him pissed off. The more he looks at it, the happier he is. Come on. Come here, I'll give you back the hat. Excuse me, young man, do you dare to ask for it? Humph. With the murderous words, Mahawk was furious. Calm and steady, he couldn't help being impulsive at this moment. He rushed forward, clenched the black knife with both hands and struck violently. The more anxious he is, the easier it is for his attacks to reveal flaws. Chen Qingtian dodged and attacked with ease, and a little bit of attack was on him. After a while, there were many holes in Mahawk's body, a bunch of small holes, and the shy scene hidden inside could be vaguely seen. His burgundy cape, Mahawk's favorite garment, was damaged. Die to me. Furious, he attacked indiscriminately. Chen Qingtian pointed out. Chaotic attacks are useless to me, young man, swordsman, keep calm at all times. You, messed up, your heart is not cultivated enough. Look at you, the movements are messy and messy. This level of swordsmanship is not good. Generally speaking, you are very good. I don't want to say anything about you for picking your feet. Today, let the old man educate you well. People can't pull. Not to mention being so cool and flamboyant. To be low-key is king. Look at you, the whole body is equipped with the protagonist's equipment, and the protagonist is the protagonist when you appear on the stage. This is not acceptable. Swordsman, you don't have to dress gorgeously. Hats are just decorations. Cultivating one's own swordsmanship well is the kingly way, and swordsmanship is one's own. Young man, you have put the cart before the horse. Give advice, but I won't save you face. Say what you have, and point out your problem viciously. Mahawk has 10,000 denials, he can't beat others, and he can't refute when he is pointed out by others. Accept it obediently, the hat was snatched away. The black knife may not be guaranteed. We must find a way to deal with Chen Qingtian, otherwise, he will be humiliated and tortured all the time. The old man in front of him is an old naughty boy, he has a troublesome heart and likes to play tricks on himself. He finally understood that he was causing trouble for himself. I knew I wouldn't come here to make trouble, damn it. One thing more is worse than one thing less. As for myself, I have to court death. It's all right now, it's done on the iron plate. I can't beat it, my own actions, in the eyes of others, are child's play. Swordsmanship, he called it swordsmanship, but he called it Luanwen. Give it back to me, you can stay here. Mahawk backed down, he didn't want to quarrel with Chen Qingtian, it wouldn't do him any good. Those who know current affairs are heroes, he is not a fool. Oh? Chen Qingtian played with the hat, put it on his head, and asked with a smile, are you handsome? Mahawk. That's my hat, you ask me if I'm handsome, how do you want me to answer? Silence is the best answer. Not wanting to speak, Mahawk stared at Chen Qingtian, staring quietly. Come here, here you are, young man. Mahawk took a step forward, and suddenly, he stopped. Watch out for Chen Qingtian, he is not as good as he looks. I almost got hit by myself. Humph. Mahawk snorted coldly, are you playing with me? He was just playing with himself. Chen Qingtian was convinced, Mahawk was a little too careful, I really mean it. Not here to play with you, hat, here you are. Do you want it? After all, Mahawk didn't have the courage to come over to take the hat, and he backed away, keeping vigilant. Young man, the old man has 300 sets of swordsmanship here, do you want to learn? He took out several swordsmanship cheats, among them, there were Evil Sword Manual and Sunflower Book, ahem, whatever, everything can be swordsmanship. As long as your savvy is high enough, I will give you a book of 300 Tang poems, and you will still be able to comprehend swordsmanship. The Evil Resisting Sword Manual is so good, after practice, you can be invincible in the world. Although there is a price to pay, it is a small problem, okay? If you want to become stronger, how can you not pay the price? Mahawk frowned, with a question mark on his face, old man, do you think I look like a fool? Take out a few cheat books, say something nonsense, and say it's a cheat book, do you think I will believe it? Ha ha. Mahawk didn't believe it, he wouldn't believe the words of an old man of unknown origin. I can show you the old man. If you are not satisfied, you can return the product. Chen Qingtian threw a copy of the Evil Sword Manual in the past. Mahawk didn't want to answer it, but with the cheat book in front of him, How could he not answer it? Reach out. Next. There are 4 large characters written on the cover: the Evil Sword Manual, written by Chen Qingtian himself, and the name obtained after translation. As for what's inside, that's up to Mahawk to reveal. Opening it, Mahawk saw several large characters on the first page. If you want to practice magical skills, you must first come from the palace. Mahawk had black lines all over his head. He raised his head and asked Chen Qingtian, "What does zigong mean?" Chen Qingtian raised his hand, made the posture of a blade, and then slammed down. Needless to say, a simple set of actions, clear. Without saying a word, Mahawk threw away the cheat book. "Are you playing with me? Old man. From the palace, everyone can't do it. It is impossible for a man not to want his brother for the sake of the so-called cheat book. No one can cut it off. Really, after you come to the palace, you will be able to practice magical skills. When the time comes, you will be invincible and the world's #1 swordsman." Mahawk snorted. Hee, even without cheats, I can still become the world's #1 swordsman. Since I can do it myself, why do I have to come from the palace? Cheats are useless to him. Chen Qingtian saw that he was not fooled, so he had no choice but tossed another copy. The last one was an accident, but this one must be fine, trust me. Produced by Chen, it must be a high-quality product. Please watch the Sunflower collection. The content inside is guaranteed to make you want to die. Mahawk believed his evil, opened it and looked. It's still those big characters. If you want to practice magical skills, you must first come from the palace. This time he didn't just throw it away, he flipped through it. There were not many pages, just 3 pages. Inside, there were a few villains, just villains, who didn't know what they were doing. They wrestled together, and turned to the last page. He saw a sentence and instantly broke his defense. Even if you come from the palace, you may not succeed. Even if you don't come from the palace, you can still succeed. For a moment, Hawkeye broke the defense. He opened his mouth, wanting to curse. Fortunately, I didn't believe his nonsense, otherwise, I would have become a eunuch. This old man is very bad. Very angry and helpless. What can be done? Throw away. Oh, don't you like it? I don't have many cheat books here, do you want more? Mahawk said with a black face, "No, anyone who believes in you is a pig. It's really terrible, whoever wrote this kind of thing hurts people." Chen Qingtian pointed at himself. "I wrote it, isn't it very interesting?" Mahawk. "It's interesting, you bastard, in case someone believes it, isn't it? Harmful things should not be kept. No, there is nothing wrong with cheat books. It is people who are wrong. If someone believes it, then he is stupid. Who is to blame, isn't it?" Hawkeye Mahawk thought about it. It seems that this is right. Forget it. Never mind. If someone believed the words of these 2 cheat books, he had a problem with his head and was cheated, and it had nothing to do with him. No one is stupid enough to believe these cheats, right? Mahawk asked himself, and soon, he felt that it was impossible, and shook his head. Why did he have such an idea? It is impossible for anyone to believe it, okay? Chen Qingtian took back the 2 cheat books, and he was going to fool the next person. Hawkeye Mahawk can't fool around here. Chen Qingtian is not discouraged. There is no shortage of smart people in this world. "Young man, are you still here?" Mahawk shook his head. He didn't want to fight, but he couldn't. After a short confrontation, he knew the gap between himself and the person in front of him. There is no comparison between cloud and mud. If you continue to fight, you will be the one who suffers. Even if Mahawk does not use his ult, so what? The old man on the opposite side is useless. Maybe he has more tricks. A branch can make him miserable, but with a good knife, he is no match for him. BG at ++ rather than being abused, it is better to stop. Not coming. 2 words, one more word will not work. Mahawk looked at Chen Qingtian curiously, and asked, "Who are you?" Instead of calling out to the old man, being conquered by Chen Qingtian's strength, he was a little more polite. Strength is the best thing that can make many people respect you. The strong are often given special treatment, no matter where they go. Old man, a nameless pawn, boy, before asking others, should you give your name? It's very impolite. In a word, Mahawk has been said again. Politeness, are you polite, please? Mahawk darkened. I, Dracule Mahawk. The owner of this island is also the person in power here. All people who land must obtain my consent, otherwise. Pointing to this island, he is the master, the well-deserved master. Anyone who wants to approach or land must obtain his consent. Otherwise, it is an illegal break-in and you will have to pay a price. Chen Qingtian ignored his words and walked slowly into the forest. You said it was yours? Who can prove it? Mahawk wanted to stop Chen Qingtian, but he was not strong enough to stop him. He could only follow behind him, and when he heard Chen Qingtian's words, he was furious. The old man in front of him is very hateful, let him prove everything. He is the only one on this island, how can he prove it? Since you can't prove it, it means that the owner of this island is not you. Speaking in plain language, who wouldn't say it? I also said that this island is mine, the whole world is mine, and you can't live in my world. Mahawk. Sophistry, this man is sophistrying. Mahawk didn't want to argue with him, so he snorted coldly and stopped refusing Chen Qingtian's landing. After walking some distance, they came to an open place. Looking up, you can see a building. Chen Qingtian pointed to the building and said, "What kind of place is there?" Mahawk frowned and asked knowingly, "Where is my castle?" In the next second, Mahawk reacted, "What do you want?" Vigilance, warning, not to let someone approach. You can land on the island, but Chen Qingtian cannot enter his castle. The castle that belongs to him alone is his last sight, how can people live in it? And it's an old man, absolutely impossible. Don't be nervous, Mahawk boy. Why is this old man interested in your castle? Waving his hands, Chen Qingtian said that he was not interested, but in his heart, he really wanted to go and have a look. After all, it is a good place, why not go and see it? It's all here, don't look at it, how disappointed, right? HMPH, old man, you can't go there. Mahawk stood in front of Chen Qingtian, preventing him from passing. Outsiders cannot enter. Chen Qingtian threw him off and accelerated forward. Mahawk wants to intercept, but there is no trace of Chen Qingtian, so he speeds up to catch up. Two people, chasing after each other in the forest, after all, Mahawk was a little short. Soon, they came to the castle. The gloomy castle exudes a gloomy and terrifying atmosphere. At night, it is estimated to be very scary. The surrounding area is covered with flowers and plants, and few people tidy it up. Mahawk just organizes the places that are useful to him, and he doesn't take care of other vacant places for the time being. As a result, flowers and plants grew around him, but the place where he practiced was empty. When he came to the gate and strode in, Mahawk tried to stop him from entering, so he was a step slower. Entering the castle, the medieval castle, the architecture is quite distinctive and beautiful. The main reason is that the cold feeling makes people uncomfortable, so Chen Qingtian doesn't care about that. He walked straight forward and walked to the living room. He was hungry and sat on the living room. "Hey, Mahawk boy, cook for me. The old man is hungry, hurry up, the old man can't wait." Mahawk was refusing all over, cooking for him, why not let yourself die? It's unreasonable, he really regards himself as the master. You, don't do yours and mine. Do it quickly, I'm very hungry. After repeated urging, Mahawk was not reconciled and went to cook for Chen Qingtian. In a person's life, he needs to know a little bit about everything. For him, cooking is just a small problem. I fried a piece of steak for Chen Qingtian, one piece for each person, took out a bottle of red wine, and shared a glass with each other. Short of a candle, the two of them can enjoy a candlelight dinner exclusively for the two of them. Sitting face to face, Mahawk appeared on the stage. He raised his red wine glass and shook it, his movements were elegant. Like a prince, tasting wine and food alone. Chen Qingtian is not so particular, he eats meat and drinks heavily. Losing the elegance of the red wine, he's a brute who doesn't want to slow down his steak. One bite is not enough. Mahawk boy, go ahead and fry the steak. A few more pieces, one piece is not enough. After eating fish for many days, people are crazy, and their mouths are full of fishy smell. He wants to eat a few more steaks, no one will help. Mahawk was speechless, and after complaining about something vulgar, he obediently made steak for him. If you don't do it, if he demolishes his castle, where will he live in the future? If you don't want to eat and sleep in the open, you have to obediently bow your head and do it. How dragging the front is, how miserable the back is. After eating and drinking, Chen Qingtian shook his legs, feeling very comfortable. Mahawk boy, you live here alone? What about your family? Mahawk appeared to be asked about his heartbreak, saying, I don't have a family, it's just me. All along, I lived alone, ate, bathed, and practiced alone. In addition to practicing every day, he is still practicing. A lonely man knows how to discipline himself. Possibly, He Dao is his only family member. Living alone for many years has caused him to dislike outsiders and have a withdrawn personality. Alone, quite lonely. Chen Qingtian didn't notice that something was wrong with Mahawk, he muttered to himself. The old man is also alone, floating on the sea for a long, long time, haha. It seems that we are really destined, Mahawk boy. What a fart. Mahawk doesn't want to have a relationship with Chen Qingtian in the car, he can't be beaten, scolded, or justified. A certain person still wants to rely on himself, How can he tolerate it? He regards himself as a long-term meal ticket, and he doesn't plan to leave until he finishes collecting the wool. Mahawk doesn't want to greet Chen Qingtian. One time is enough, the second time, he will be upset. Hurry up and eat this meal and go, there is nothing interesting here. In the castle, alone is enough. No need for a second person, no matter who you are, old man or child, Mahawk has no obligation to take care of him. If you want free meals, find your family, not me. He is extremely busy every day, practicing every day, and has no time to cook for Chen Qingtian. Not to mention entertaining him with a luxurious lunch and dinner, it's impossible. Leave after eating, I'll see you off. Chen Qingtian shook his head and said, I've let you down, I may not be able to leave for the time being, without a boat, I can't leave. Sorry, I can't go now. There is no boat. I will leave when the boat comes. During this time, please, thank you, Mahawk boy. Mahawk. What? What did you say? You don't have a ship. How did you get here? No, you have to go. How about this, I have a boat that can just be given to you. Gritting his teeth, he gave up his ship. Mahawk sacrificed everything to get him to leave. Chen Qingtian refused. Mahawk boy, I won't leave. You don't need to persuade the old man. After wandering outside for a long time, the old man finally found a place to stay. How could he leave? Don't think about it, I depend on you. The castle is my residence for some time to come. You won't leave even if you beat me to death, so don't waste your words. Why? Why rely on me? I have nothing here. Food and drink, nothing. There are no beautiful women, and there is nothing that fascinates you. Why are you pestering me? Can you let me spend the perfect years alone? The old man is sorry for you, you are too lonely alone. The old man sacrificed himself to achieve you. Crowned cousin. Obligatory. In order to repay you for this meal, I decided to stay and accompany you. Chen Qingtian knew the pain of living alone, that's why he wanted to stay. Whether you agree or refuse, Chen Qingtian will not leave. Unnecessary. Mahawk refused straight away, he didn't like others to disturb him. A person's life is enough. If there is one more person, he will not be used to it. Chen Qingtian didn't care about him, he ate and drank enough, went to find a room, found a big room, lay down on the bed, and didn't leave. Today, this bed, I have settled down to sleep, and it is useless for anyone to come. In less than a minute, the snoring sounded, he fell asleep. Mahawk. He raised his hand several times to wake him up, but he had no choice but to back out and close the door. Terrible old man who really calls this home his home. It makes no sense. An aggrieved Mahawk leaves, leaving behind a sleeping Chen Qingtian. Speechless all night. Easy day morning. Inside the cold castle, Chen Qingtian woke up, washed up briefly, had breakfast, and went outside. Hearing a voice outside, he went out to see that Mahawk was practicing sword alone. Accompanying him to practice sword is a group of baboons. Dozens of baboons carry swords and fight with him. The baboons are good at swordsmanship, and Mahawk is present in every move and move. They're mimicking, imitating Mahawk's movements. Fighting them is like fighting yourself. The advantage lies in the large number. Each baboon has different talents. They have learned different sword skills and have their own unique understanding. The slender-armed baboons prove that they can also use swords with their unique actions. Swordsmanship is very smooth. Chen Qingtian poured a cup of tea. To be honest, this guy Mahawk is quite good at enjoying it, and made the tea early in the morning. Of the 2 teacups, one was obviously reserved for him. The battle lasted for a quarter of an hour, and the baboons were defeated and unwilling to leave. Mahawk put away the black knife, with a calm expression, as if he was used to it. Homework that must be done every day. At first, he may be harassed by baboons. We got to know each other, we got to know each other's personalities. So far, there is no killer. Simple wounds will basically heal within a day. You're awake, old man. Mahawk sat down like a grandpa, crossing his legs. Pull him, see him, want to beat him. But this guy looks good, short hair, 3-dimensional facial features, like a gentleman in the Middle Ages, every move is elegant. Finished. Mahawk boy. Chen Qingtian took a sip of tea and did not forget to pour him a cup. The strength of this group of baboons is not simple, it has 1/3 of your strength. Mahawk didn't answer, a third, no, a 10th. You have no idea how powerful Laozi is. Oh, it seems that you are very proud. You just defeated a group of beasts. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Chen Qingtian raised a finger and said, from your performance alone, I have found at least a dozen shortcomings. Do you need the old man to speak out? Mahawk sat up straight, his expression serious. More than a dozen shortcomings, there are so many, why didn't he discover it himself? You'd better not talk nonsense. Chen Qingtian pointed to his shoulder and motioned for Mahawk to come over and give him a massage, but Mahawk's arrogance did not allow him to do such a thing. Reject Chen Qingtian, he doesn't give massages. The two were in a stalemate, one didn't massage, the other didn't talk, they drank tea quietly. After a quarter of an hour, Mahawk couldn't hold on, he said, "Old man, you eat mine, live in mine, and you want me to give you a massage? Shouldn't it be you who said it yourself? As your future food expenses. Of course, if you think it's so easy to learn something, it would be nice if the old man doesn't accept your apprenticeship," Chen Qingtian said bluntly. "Other people want to learn, but the old man may not be able to teach him. If it's not for you, the boy is pleasing to the eye. The old man is too lazy to talk to you." "Why? I don't want to learn, that's fine," Chen Qingtian murmured. "I'm telling you, Mahawk, I can't say my swordsmanship is very strong, at least in the world today, there is no one who can surpass me. There are 3 million sword immortals in the sky, and they have to be afraid when they see this old man." Chen Qingtian, whose swordsmanship level has improved, is qualified to say such words. After Roger's death, in terms of swordsmanship alone, no one can surpass him now, not even the red-haired Shanks. The current red hair hasn't grown up yet, and his swordsmanship is so-so. As for Whitebeard Newgate, needless to say, a person whose devil fruit ability is stronger than swordsmanship is not a pure swordsman, his swordsmanship is just that. Not to mention anything else, Chen Qingtian's swordsmanship can only be described as very strong. You brag you. A bad old man tells you that he is very strong, but he is the strongest swordsman today. Can you believe it? Mahawk wouldn't believe it anyway. Purely when he is crazy, talking nonsense. Chen Qingtian's swordsmanship is good, that's all. It is impossible to become the #1 swordsman in the world, and it is impossible to become one without strength. Besides, Jianao is a pure swordsman, but Chen Qingtian is not. Hawkeye Mahawk could tell at a glance that Chen Qingtian was not a pure swordsman. The path he had been pursuing was the path of the sword. The realm of the sword is endless. What he pursues is the truth of the way of the sword, and he pursues it tirelessly. Only by experiencing the loneliness of a person can we have the opportunity to touch the true meaning of kendo. These years, he always thinks, before doing anything, he always thinks, the more he thinks, the more troubles he has. And his black knife, at critical times, can help him cut off his troubles. There are 3,600 threads of trouble in a person, and only after cutting them off one by one can one see the way of the sword. Just you. Hee. Sarcasm, disbelief. Purely when he's bragging, Mahawk offers him a cup of tea, so he can hangover, don't go crazy. Chen Qingtian stood up, lowered his head, and looked down at Mahawk. Mahawk boy, you don't believe the old man's words, do you think the old man is talking nonsense? Mahawk nodded, needless to say, you are either dreaming or sick. A swordsman, without a sword. You are not qualified to call yourself a swordsman. Hey, it seems that you still don't understand. Chen Qingtian said dejectedly. Mahawk, you have fallen into the lower level after all, the way of swordsmanship is not what you think. A sword is not necessary for a swordsman. People like this old man no longer need swords. Get up, the old man will show you what is called swordsmanship. Everyone has their own way of swordsmanship. Some people's way of swordsmanship is born for protection, some people's way of swordsmanship is born for killing, and some people's way of swordsmanship is born for love. I've been to the top of the mountain and I've been to the bottom of the valley, and I've learned a lot from both. On the top of the mountain, I feel the energy of nature, and the ability to understand nature cannot be blocked by human beings. In the trough, I understand that people have peaks and troughs. Persistence and courage are the necessary conditions to get out of the trough. Everyone's sword is different, just as everyone's understanding is different. Mahawk's kendo is comprehended by himself, and it is his own kendo, which cannot be learned by others. Just like Marine's justice, extreme justice, ambiguous justice, and lazy justice, I agree with one thing in my heart and it will not change. Move towards what you think, and the final step depends on the arrangement of fate. Chen Qingtian doesn't want to talk nonsense, Mahawk doesn't like to listen to nonsense, and no one wants to listen to nonsense. On dry goods. Most direct. Pose, still a branch. A little tidying up, rough and uneven surface, people with obsessive-compulsive disorder will not be used to it. Come on, Mahawk boy. The previous battle was not carried out, and Chen Qingtian did not educate him well. Today, with enough food and drink, I can train him well. Lest he always think that he is hanging, and thus underestimate me. You're welcome, just do whatever you want, and do your best. A friendly reminder, you have to do your best. But I can't keep my strength, I'm afraid I'll accidentally kill you. HMPH, who do you look down on? Mahawk got angry, he drew his black knife. Dressed lightly, he concentrated his energy and spirit, staring at Chen Qingtian with sharp eyes. He was waiting for Chen Qingtian to attack. Chen Qingtian was also waiting for him to make a move. The two stood in place, their aura collided, and the aura of their swordsmanship spread out. Mahawk was taken aback. His aura radiated out, approaching Chen Qingtian. It was like entering an abyss, there was no distinction between depth and size. Terrifying, deep, and endless. The momentum was swallowed up. He took a step back, shocked. What is this? Powerful momentum, unrivaled. His sword is too powerful, too vast. What's the matter? Mahawk boy, come here. Chen Qingtian said with a smile. Don't stand still, don't you want to test the old man's details? Don't be afraid, the old man will watch you and won't beat you to death. Contempt. Contempt. Mahawk frowned, he had to move first, and Chen Qingtian couldn't be the first to do it. Drink. To provoke is a simple action of the sword. Provocations, thrusts, sweeps and attacks, Mahawk's attacks were all blocked. Chen Qingtian didn't dodge, observation hockey used. Mahawk's attack was very slow in his eyes, very slow. Raise your hand and block a sword. The leisurely Chen Qingtian stopped him calmly. Don't attack. Let Mahawk attack alone, you attack as much as you want, I will not fight back. Block, block. After more than a dozen moves, Mahawk failed to break through Chen Qingtian's defense. His swordsmanship seemed weak in front of him. Drink. Power up, jump up, and Mahawk jumps down from above. The momentum is concentrated a little, and all the power is concentrated on the blade. The black knife is as black as ink. A faint breath spread around. Behind him, there seemed to be a terrifying shadow. The attack is gorgeous, it's a pity. The old man said long ago that your attack has many shortcomings, for example, here. Raise your hand, and the branch climbs up. The majestic jump fell, and Chen Qingtian's branch fell. The branch collided with the black knife, and for an instant, the momentum disappeared. The momentum that Mahawk had accumulated for a long time suddenly dissipated. His knife was stabbed. Offensive, pierced. A force bounced back, and he flew out. Hitting on the boulder, the black knife slid to the ground. The huge force almost made him faint. Beating himself in his own strength, Mahawk may be the first. As for Chen Qingtian, there is nothing wrong with it, and the branches have not been peeled off. A normal stab, no power storage, and no other actions. The power is his own, not Chen Qingtian's. Mahawk thought a lot, and he recalled the stab, unable to comprehend. Why is this so? How could his branch break my attack? You must know that his jumping and slashing can cut a small hillside. How can such a terrifying power be blocked by small branches? What have you done? Spitting out a mouthful of blood, Mahawk stared at Chen Qingtian with a gloomy face. Things are moving in an indescribable direction. I didn't do anything, Mahawk boy. I said that your attack has many shortcomings. Look at you, if you don't believe it, the old man never lies. Lifting the branch, Chen Qingtian wiped it lightly. Look, the more slashes you have, the stronger the energy, and it's not that the more gorgeous your moves are, the stronger you will be. Your attack is very strong, but it's a pity that it's useless. When you meet a master, they can easily break your attack. This trick is the simplest to point to Arankar, and there is no technical content. Do you want to learn? Mahawk. Boy, do you want to learn? I can teach you. Mahawk was silent. He looked at his black knife solemnly. The slash was broken, very easily. There was no strong power or special skill. With a simple stab, the mighty attack was gone. From the point of Arankar, he must know that a swordsman is indeed not simple, and can do many things. But how could it be possible for the opponent to break through his own attack so easily? This is no longer as simple as swordsmanship, nor is it a skill. He may really see his own shortcomings. Everyone's attack has shortcomings. If you concentrate on searching, you should find them. The stronger your strength, the deeper your understanding of kendo, the easier it is to find. Mahawk's swordsmanship, he dare not say is very strong, at least better than most people. A simple swordsman, he has no other desires, he just wants to improve his swordsmanship and become that swordsman. There is no swordsman who does not want to be a swordsman. As the saying goes, a swordsman who does not want to be a swordsman is not a good swordsman. In today's world, there are only a handful of swordmasters, and there is not one swordmaster who can truly be recognized by the world. And he may be the first. He had to be the first one, but in front of him, he was ruined and defeated by an old man. Convinced? I don't know, it might be a coincidence. He jumped up and tried again, the first time by accident. So, what about the second time? The same attack, power, increased by 3 points. Mahawk needs to take a good look at how Chen Qingtian breaks through his own attack. Momentum, cohesion, strength, focus a little. No more scattered slashes, meaningless. This slash seems to be exactly the same as the last time. There is no difference in the movement, even the jumping posture, height, or attacking position. But his attack is different, its strength is relatively concentrated. Compared with the previous attack, it has been upgraded to a higher level, whether it is strength or other aspects, it has improved. But, Mahawk boy, it's the same a few times. The old man said that your attack has flaws, and they are fatal flaws. If you don't change them, the flaws will always exist. You can see clearly how the old man broke through your attack. It's hard for a swordsman with flaws to become a swordsman, boy. GNO, with this old man, it's just a trivial matter. A swordsman who has reached a certain level is a swordsman. GNO's strength, willpower, and other aspects have all reached an extreme. Their strength is very strong. He is so powerful that all swordsmen are afraid, and only by conquering them can he be called a swordsman. Chen Qingtian, his swordsmanship is very strong, he has already reached the level of a swordsman, and even, he has gone a long way in the realm of a swordsman. For the understanding of the sword, he has his own understanding and perception. Swordsmanship, or sword skills, he has a deep understanding. At this moment, he appeared in front of Mahawk. My advice to Mahawk, if you want to learn swordsmanship, you should not live in a corner. You should go out to see more, learn more, and ask more questions. Mahawk boy, your thinking is too narrow. You have never seen many swordsmen, and you have never fought with them. Your strength ends here. If you want to go further, it is impossible to improve through penance. If you want to go out, it is impossible to grow alone. The attack is not good, so is the defense, and the swordsmanship is so-so. In summary, it just doesn't work. Stay in one place all the time, do not communicate with the outside world, and do not fight. In my whole life, I have not seen many swordsmen. Without fighting, without knowing more about swordsmanship, without having more insights, fighting with a group of baboons, their strength is good, but unfortunately, they can't bring any benefits to Hawkeye. All the benefits, squeezed out by Mahawk. Your attack is very heavy. A sword, piercing Mahawk's attack. His attack was as light as cotton. No power, no threat. It won't cause any harm to Chen Qingtian, push it away, and his attack will be pulled away. Chen Qingtian, who has a full-level pulling skill, plays with Mahawk's feelings like an adult beating a child. Oh, it's so miserable, I fell down. Stand up, Mahawk boy, and keep attacking. The humiliated Mahawk stood up, angrily, he just snorted coldly. Immediately, keeping calm, those eyes were focused on Chen Qingtian, trying to see something. His eyes are like the eyes of an eagle, one can see many things. He can see what ordinary people cannot see, but on Chen Qingtian, he saw nothing. Unfathomable, a thick mist obscured him, rendering Mahawk's eagle eyes ineffective. It didn't work the first time, and Hawkeye was taken aback. How is this possible? Shocked again and again, horrified again and again. All his abilities, in front of Chen Qingtian, seemed so weak and so rubbish. Attack and be broken. No matter what the attack was, it was broken. He couldn't touch Chen Qingtian's clothes at all, let alone cause him any harm. After beating for half an hour, I was humiliated and stimulated again and again. After attacking hundreds of times, all of them were broken. Without exception, I lost completely. If it was in a life and death battle, I don't know how many times I died. At this moment, he understood that the old man was not joking, he really knew his own shortcomings, every one of them. How is it? Mahawk boy, now I understand that the outside world is very big and there are many strong people. Even the old man's swordsmanship is just so-so outside. Swordsman, you can't just stay in one place. In this way, there is no way to improve your swordsmanship. My advice to you is to go out and see the beautiful world. Fight more with swordsmen, and you will be able to discover your own shortcomings and improve accordingly. Non-stop fighting can give you a different feeling. A swordsman must fight, if not fight, how to improve his swordsmanship. Standing still, you will never be able to become a swordsman. Mahawk lowered his head and stroked his black knife. Would you like to go out with me? The outside world is very big, of course he knows it, and it is also very dangerous. With his strength, if he goes out, he may. He doesn't want to have too much contact with the outside world, mainly because of fear. As an introvert, he doesn't like to talk, and when he meets outsiders, he easily offends others. I would rather not go out than have conflicts with people outside. The black knife clanked and let out a warm shout. It wants to go out, it wants to be famous all over the world. I don't want to be buried in one place, any knife, I want to make a living, even if I am buried in the sea for this. The sword is everything to a swordsman. Whether the sword can become famous in the sea has a lot to do with the swordsman. Sometimes the sword chooses the man, and the man chooses the sword. They are a relationship of choice, and once established, they are partners. The two are a relationship of mutual achievement, mutual help. You help me, I help you. The sword, in the hands of the swordsman, becomes stronger with the swordsman. Everyone is getting stronger. They are a relationship of mutual help and mutual achievement. Mihawk ignored Hideo's feelings. It wanted to go out and meet more swordsmen and fight them, thus announcing its return. Instead of staying in this place all the time, being unknown. Mihawk stroked Hideo affectionately. It turns out that you also want to go outside. Travel the world and witness the ups and downs of the sea. The ever-changing sea is suitable for them to go out to fight. This is an era of opportunity, but also an era of difficulty. Those who walk past are successful and famous. People who can't walk through are just a handful of Lois. They want to go out, can't stay here any longer, self-improvement. Maybe, the old man is right, they are used to a place after all. Old man, please teach me my sword skills. The proud him bowed his head. For Hideo, for himself, and for swordsmanship, he was willing to bow his head and ask for advice. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Learn from the strong, and always keep an apprentice's heart. This is the basic appearance of a swordsman. Mihawk boy, you finally figured it out. Very good, very good. A true master always has an apprentice's heart. Mihawk boy. I hope you remember this sentence. Don't be complacent, don't be self-righteous. There are countless strong people in the world. They are very powerful. Even at their level, they dare not underestimate people in the world. So, you will always maintain the heart of an apprentice, understand? Got it. Mihawk stood at attention and listened carefully. At the moment, he is a student asking for advice. Learn from the teacher. He listens to what the teacher says, and remembers it in his heart. Chen Qingtian is satisfied with Mihawk's attitude. Very good, this is the way of learning. Seeing your sincerity, old man, it is difficult for me to teach you. How do you understand swordsmanship? Mihawk boy. Mihawk was asked how to understand swordsmanship. He couldn't speak, and there were so many things in his heart that he couldn't express in words. Staring blankly at the old man, he opened his mouth, but couldn't speak. Chen Qingtian pressed his hands. He knew. This feeling is very strange, you know it in your heart, but you can't express it. The old man will tell you about the old man's experience back then, and give you an idea. Chen Qingtian tidied up his clothes, held a branch, and turned his back to Mihawk. Eyes, staring ahead. He waited for a long time before speaking. This old man has traversed the sea for more than 50 years. He has killed all enemies and defeated all heroes. The world is helpless and helpless. He is a wanderer in the world, with wine as his companion. Woohoo! I can't find an opponent in my life, and I am really lonely and embarrassing. It has to be said that once these words came out, the standard was raised several grades. Mihawk thought that Chen Qingtian could tell some great truths, but it turned out. He is full. F*K. I'm here to learn, not to listen to your bragging. Tell me about classical Chinese, can you be normal? Mihawk, you seem to disagree with the old man. Mihawk shook his head quickly. No. Chen Qingtian raised the branch in his hand and looked at Mihawk squarely. Before I was 30 years old, I used a soft sword to accidentally injure a righteous man, which is ominous, so I discarded it. At the age of 40, the old man switched to the heavy sword. The sword weighs more than 100 catties. It has never opened and closed. It cuts everything and runs rampant in the world. At the age of 50, don't stick to things. Plants, trees, bamboo, and stones can all be swords. Since then, you have been intensively practicing and gradually progressing to the realm where no sword is better than having a sword. Flowers, plants and trees can all be swords. The old man has already jumped out, and has reached the realm of today's sword-free victory. Are you enlightened? Mihawk stared at the black knife in his hand again, and he seemed to be in the second realm. The épée has no front, and it is a great skill. No, he didn't reach the second realm, he was still hovering between the first realm and the second realm. The black knife, not the épée, has already opened the front, so the swordsmanship he pursued so hard still has a long way to go. Old man, come to the front. Is no sword better than having a sword? Staring at the black knife in his hand, Mihawk fell into deep thought. Is that true? This kendo realm. He admitted it in his heart, but he didn't know how to do it. Compared with himself, he felt more and more confused. When will I reach that level? A powerful old man, at such an age, his sword skills are still so unpredictable. His strength is unfathomable. So far, Mihawk has no idea how strong he really is. Are you saying outrageous? Teacher, please teach me. Bow your head and humbly ask for advice. In order to become stronger, he doesn't care about the so-called face. A swordsman pursues strength. I'm still in a hurry, come on, sit down, take a deep breath, and close your eyes. Have you ever felt anything? You are still too weak, maybe, the simplest first step, you haven't taken it yet. Mahak opened his eyes and shook his head, feeling nothing. Chen Qingtian said, don't think about other things, breathe seriously. Yes, hold your breath, don't think about it, let yourself be in the nature, have you caught the breath? In addition to your breath, there are also surrounding flowers, trees, and even stones, they all breathe. Everything breathes. When you can feel it, it means that you have a deeper understanding of Kendo. Sit back and feel it, Mahak boy. Mahak continued to feel. Hold the black knife and feel the breath around you. There is nothing, everything has breathing, but he only feels his own breathing. Everything else, nothing. The world was so quiet that he was the only one. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Entering into deep thinking, he was capturing the breath around him, but got nothing. When I woke up again, it was already night. Open your eyes, close your eyes, a day has passed. He got nothing. One day wasted like that. Not discouraged, he stood up and stroked the black knife. Touching everything around him, he seriously thought about Chen Qingtian's words. Everything has breath, even stones, why can't he feel it? Touch the big stone, up and down, left and right, touch again and again, observe, carefully observe the texture of the stone. It seems to want to find the trick from it, but unfortunately, stones are dead things after all. He can't see anything, let alone understand something. Dinner is made, and the two eat. Mahak had many questions, and asked Chen Qingtian one by one, including the usual practice questions. Chen Qingtian told him why it happened, how to solve it, and what to do. Tell him the principle, let him understand. Understood, is the kingly way. Okay, Mahak, that's it for today, let's rest, tomorrow, continue to understand. Don't worry, the more anxious you are, the less you can feel it. Go to rest, have a good rest, and keep your spirits. Good night. Good night. In the blink of an eye, a month has passed. The sun rises and the moon sets, and the stars move. Mahak, who insisted on practicing every day, found a way forward. After practicing the tasks I arranged every day, I started to understand. Just sit for an afternoon, comprehend nature, and comprehend breathing. He held his breath and concentrated on the breath of all things, concentrating on comprehending it. From the nervousness, anxiety, and eagerness to feel it at the beginning, to today's indifference, keep it blank. Heart, relax. His thoughts followed the beating of his heart, and every time he beat, his thoughts moved again. Want nothing. Entering a strange state, his energy and spirit gathered a little. In the next second, he entered a new world. A whole new world, everything around, is breathing. He could see breath after breath rising up like cooking smoke. Everywhere, there is smoke rising from cooking. The breathing of flowers, plants and trees is different, long and short, fast and slow. They breathed out breath, occupied the sky, and then dissipated. Breathing is continuous, without breaks. The stone beside him also breathed weakly. The weak breathing is different from that of flowers, plants and trees. The breathing of stones is unique. Another kind of breathing, the breath that is exhaled, is also different. The category of stone is classified as a separate category, breathing along the lines. Mahak saw it, and he was shocked. So it's true, what the teacher said is true. He didn't lie to me, stone can really breathe. They all breathe, everything breathes, feel, comprehend. He followed the breath, feeling how the stone breathed. Lines, one after another, like veins, breathe. Mahak saw the flaws, saw the difference. Breath, judge whether your attack has shortcomings. Because of this, his own attack was vulnerable in front of the teacher. He reached out to touch the breath, and the breath of the stone was broken. Black knife, cut down. The breath was cut off. Open your eyes. He woke up from a strange state, excited for a flash, and he regained his composure. Standing up, holding the black knife, he came to the stone. Observe carefully and comprehend carefully. He felt a ray of breath, and a faint breath floated up. Draw the knife. The black knife flashed by, stone, intact. The black knife did not cause any damage. Mahak looked at the black knife in surprise, and then at the stone. He cut off the breath of the stone with the knife just now. Why the stone didn't separate? No breath, just attack. A very simple attack, attacking along the veins, turned out to be useless. Why is this happening? I obviously cut along the breath of the stone, why? Mahak frowned, wondering what he did wrong. Chen Qingtian applauded. Papa, that's right, in a month, You have realized the breadth of all things. The first step is to perceive the breadth of all things, and Mahak has entered that level. To enter is to enter. People who pay attention to talent, and those with poor talent will take a long time to enter. Usually, I have enough insight. After being guided by a famous teacher and talking about it a little bit, I will soon find the feeling. That's the case with Mahak. He's accumulated enough before, and with a little reminder, he's quick to feel everything breathe. The second step is to slash. If you want to do the second step, you still need to practice. You just took the first step. Mahak, take your time, take your time. You feel the breadth of all things. I don't know if you have felt the black knife in your hand. Everything in time breathes. Flowers and trees are no exception. Stones do too. Even the black knife in your hand can breathe. Have you ever felt it? Mahak looked at the black knife in his hand suspiciously, stroked it, felt it. He didn't feel the breath. He had clearly seen the stone's breath. Why couldn't Haidao see it? Doubt raised his head. He wanted to find the answer from the teacher's eyes. Chen Qingtian shook his head. You need to understand it yourself. Every knife is different, and their breathing is also different. You are the master of Haidao, but not the old man. If you want to know, ask Haidao yourself. If so, click here. Did not go on. Chen Qingtian knows that there are some things that he needs to understand by himself, and it is meaningless to say it by himself. You have taken the first step. The second step, I believe you will be able to realize it soon. Go and feel it. Mahak held the black knife, sat down, raised the black knife, and observed carefully. He focused on every inch of skin and every detail. Don't let go of any small details. If you want to understand Haidao, you must know everything about Haidao. Haidao Yi. Yi is the name of Haidao. One of the 12 crafts of the supreme large block knife, chaotic blade heavy flower tea, known as the strongest black knife in the world. Many people call it the black knife, without saying its name. The strongest black sword in the world, this name alone is enough to make swordsmen flock to it. A swordsman needs a good knife first. There are only 12 supreme large block knives, and there are not many that have come out so far. In the world, there are countless swordsmen, as many as a cow's hair. With so many people robbing the 12 great swords, one can imagine how difficult it is. You go out with a supreme block knife and immediately a swordsman challenges you. Not for anything else, just to steal your knife. Every big knife is precious. I want to buy it, but I can't. Knives are rare. There are not many famous knives. Among them, there are 12 gongs of supreme big knives, 21 knives of big knives, and 50 knives of good knives. Not counting other knives, these famous knives add up to less than 100 knives, and some of them are missing. For example, there are 2 supreme big knives, namely the Black Knife Knight, which is currently used by Hakai Mahak. Another one is the Ace, used by the pirate King Roger. The name of his son Ace is based on the name of the knife. I don't know how Ace will feel after knowing it. There are also many speculations. For example, the knife used by one of the old men in 5 Elders is guessed to be first-generation Ghost Toru. If it is also one of the 12 knives. There is also Whitebeard's Naginata, which is also speculated to be one of them. The knife used by Shanks has not been announced yet, and many sea fans are also guessing. All in all, there are 2 identified now, the Black Knife and the Ace. One can imagine how much a good supreme block knife is in demand. Mahak went outside, and within a few days, a bunch of people must have approached him and challenged him. Swordsman, only challenge, no sneak attack. They are taking the legitimate path. Sneak attack is a disgrace to swordsmen. Haidao Yi, a strange knife, is very long and has a unique attack. Zoro has the right to speak. He said that the black knife is a soft knife. I don't know why there is such a saying. Chen Qingtian gave the time to Mahak, and he didn't need to look at him. He sat under a parasol beside him, drinking red wine. Tasting today's delicacies, Mahak is very good at enjoying and will not abuse his stomach. He cooks the food with great care every day. Chen Qingtian is very satisfied with his attitude towards food. Hei Daoyu's breathing is different from Shi's breathing, and requires a deeper understanding. The most familiar things are often the easiest to forget. Black knives, things that I touch and touch every day, even the knives that accompany me to sleep. Mahak is most familiar with. Holding the black knife, with tears in his eyes, he didn't even notice that the black knife was breathing. Hei Dao, who has been with him for many years, has spent countless lonely days and nights, and has been able to live alone on this island until today. Hei Dao has contributed a lot. And myself, I ignored it. Partner? No, it was a piece of flesh from my own body. Hei Dao merged with him. When the sword is there, the sword is dead, and the person is dead. Staring at the black knife, Mahak felt a lot of guilt in his heart. He ignored it. It should not be. Really shouldn't. How could I ignore you? I'm sorry. Proud of him, he lowered his head. Looking at He Dao quietly, there is a lot of guilt in his heart. I wanted to say sorry, but after I spoke, I felt even sadder. He quietly looked at the black knife. At first glance, it was an afternoon. At night, he was still watching. Self-disciplined, he was dazed today. Just standing there, Chen Qingtian reluctantly cooked a meal and called him to eat, but there was no response. He didn't eat. Chen Qingtian ate alone. Nothing interesting, eat and drink enough, sit by the side, and wait for Mahak to wake up. When it was late at night, Chen Qingtian couldn't stay up late, so he went to bed early. The next morning, Chen Qingtian woke up and saw Mahak standing and staring at the black knife for the first time. He had been standing all day. Last night, no sleep. Keeping one movement for a long time, isn't he sleepy? Looking closer, Chen Qingtian noticed that Mahak's eyes were red with tears washing away. Holding the black knife in both hands, he raised it up and watched. The line of sight never shifted. Not a penny was transferred. It stayed for a day without moving. I said don't you need to eat and sleep? Mahak didn't respond. Just look at it. Chen Qingtian said helplessly, hey, watch it yourself. There is still food to eat. Eat and drink. Don't be too sad, take good care of yourself. People will ignore it. Especially those closest to us are the easiest to ignore. People who are often by your side and who care about you in every possible way are often ignored by you. Some things, once you get used to it, you take them for granted. Others should pay for you. In the end, you. He Dao paid silently and kept silent. It caused Mahak to ignore it, and now, after being reminded by Chen Qingtian, he discovered that the black knife has its own breath, and possibly, also has its own thoughts. They are independent individuals, with joy, sadness, and various emotions. Just because they didn't express it doesn't mean they didn't. Myself, I never regarded it as a partner, damn it. Mahak kept cursing himself, how could he ignore him? Damn it. Damn it. My dearest partner, who has been with me for so many years, As strong as Mahak, I can't help but cry. The feeling for He Dao is no less than the feeling for himself. Even, beyond the feelings of their own parents, he may not be impressed. Since he was a child, he has been by He Dao's side, and it is He Dao who has constantly protected him. Being able to survive to this day, He Knife has contributed a lot. Sorry. I want to cry, tears are stuck in my eyes. He doesn't let himself flow out. The black knife, trembling, seemed to echo Mahak's grief. It didn't want Mahak to be sad, Jung. Shaking violently. Conveying comforting emotions to Mahak, at this moment, Mahak felt the black knife. It has emotions, it has breath. It has everything it should have, and I have never cared about it. Words stuck in the mouth. Mahak wanted to speak, but was stopped by He Dao. Their conversations don't need to be spoken out, just their inner feelings. Connect with each other and condolences to each other. Thank you. Thank you, Black Knife. Thank you for your tolerance. Thank you. Countless thank you is the only thing Mahak can say. It tolerates itself, it loves itself. Myself, but I don't know. He Dao's breath, at this moment, he felt it. That is the joy of the knife, the sadness of the knife, the happiness of the knife, and the confusion of the knife. There are many emotions, so many years of emotions, all at once. The aura on Mahak exploded. The powerful sword force crushed it, and the surrounding flowers, plants and trees were cut by strands of sword energy. Floating with the wind, everything within a 3-meter radius has been cleaned up. Standing 3 meters away, Chen Qingtian praised, "It's incredible, I just realized breathing, and I burst out with such energy." Mahak's strength has been improved to a higher level. He is stronger. Momentum entered the next level. Standing here is like a sword. At this moment, he, human and sword are one. The swordsman is perfectly presented on him. There is no need to ask, no need to say, no need to look, he stands here, a powerful momentum rushes towards him. You can feel the breath that belongs to swordsman, that irresistible momentum. Fierce and terrifying. It's incredible, the fit between He Dao and Mahak is very high, I'm really envious. A man born with a big knife is the dream of many swordsmen. I also want to be born without doing anything, just lie down and enjoy everything. Why not salted fish if you can salt it? A man who works hard, is handsome, and has high strength. The main reason is that he is rich and has everything. How about a good start for Tianyu? Born, has reached the pinnacle of life. At least Chen Qingtian is very envious of Mahak, he is different, he has a son in time travel, his family has nothing but hard work, am I proud? I ask you, am I proud? Hey, Mahak boy, wake up and stop giggling. The crying man turned to giggle. I don't know what happy thing I thought of. I was alone, holding a knife, and giggling. Like the fools in our village, always giggling alone. It is said that stupidity is contagious. Chen Qingtian stays away from him and cannot be contagious. Mahawk was awake, he was in a strange state, stroking the black knife. Touching along the lines of the black knife, it was the trace of forging by the craftsman. He could feel it no matter how many times it was forged, how many days and nights it took. Every forging is a sublimation. Mahawk's heart, forged with the forging, the breath of the black knife, and his breath, became one. For a moment, he was He Dao, and He Dao was him. I didn't smirk, don't talk nonsense. Be careful, I sue you for slander. Mahawk returned to his icy demeanor, staring at everyone with disdain. He changed his face in a second. Unable to imagine that the silly boy just now was him, Chen Qingtian said, You boy, the speed of this face changing is incredible. Breathing world, beautiful and ethereal. Entering this world, your 3 views will be refreshed. All things breathe differently, they have their own way of breathing and their own texture. The veins are like blood vessels, the blood vessels of all things, the principle of life. Observe carefully, you will find your own fun, you are addicted to it, and then realize, your hand, follow the breath. Even if your breathing follows theirs, there will be different changes. Taking a deep breath, Mahawk was once again intoxicated by the world in which he couldn't extricate himself. After entering, it was an hour. To him, it was just a blink of an eye, but an hour passed in the outside world. Isn't it amazing, Mahawk boy? Mahawk nodded. This magical world, once entered, shocked once. Every time he enters, he will see a different world and have a different feeling. At that moment, he felt that the world was his. With clenched fists, he seems to hold the whole world. Breathing, all held in the palm of his hand, with a light pinch, it seemed to be able to break their breath. The breath is broken, and it will recover soon. Chen Qingtian said, Mahawk boy, don't enter that world for too long, it's not good for your spirit. Exhausting too much energy, look at yourself, you already have dark circles. Treasure your body, don't squander it carelessly. The body is the capital of the revolution, you can't mess around. Even if you were young, you can't squander your body. Mahawk took out the mirror to check, and there were 2 big black circles hanging from the corners of his eyes. It's dark, big, and about to swell up. His eyes were bloodshot. He didn't sleep for 2 days and 1 night, and stayed up all night without sleep. Even the Iron Man can't do it, let alone he entered the magical world and consumed a lot of energy. At this moment, his energy is extremely sluggish. If you keep going, it's easy to have an accident. Mahawk shook his head. I'm fine, teacher, I can still hold on. Chen Qingtian dissuaded. Okay, don't hold on, go to rest. How is your health? The old man can tell at a glance, don't pretend to be in front of the old man. It's still the same sentence, the body is yourself, if you have anything to do, let's talk about it after sleeping. Mahawk didn't want to go to sleep, he wanted to continue to experience that world. The breathing of the world is amazing, he wanted to stay in that world forever and not come out. It's like a child discovers a new toy and doesn't want to let it go, and wants to play until he gets tired of it. Chen Qingtian refused, and carried him back to sleep, and not to continue to practice. Cultivation emphasizes self-discipline and gradual progress, and it is useless to act too hastily. Go to bed quickly. Ordered down, Mahawk wanted to get out and was intercepted. Helpless, he could only go to sleep. A day passed. When I woke up, it was already the next morning. The refreshed Mahawk looked at the sun, and the old man next to him was sitting under the parasol, drinking tea slowly. With a pot of tea, he can taste it all day. The 2 switched places, Mahawk went to exercise, and Chen Qingtian sat and enjoyed. Mahawk can comprehend by himself, and Chen Qingtian doesn't need to worry about many things, nor does he need to supervise him. Just pretend to be aggressive and say a few nonsense, he will figure it out by himself. How long have I been asleep, teacher? It's only a day, not long. How is it? How are you? Chen Qingtian asked. Mahawk nodded, he was fine, but very energetic. After a good night's sleep, the energy and spirit are replenished. Now he can kill 2 cows. Practice, the baboons come as usual. The battle begins. The baboons quickly figured out that something was wrong and their attacks, which Mahawk saw through, easily overwhelmed them. Compared with the previous half an hour, today, less than 10 minutes, defeated them. You know, it's not just Mahawk that's improving, the baboons are improving too. They are improving every day, they are large in number, and the speed of progress is not slow. After learning how to use a sword, they understand it every day. It may be because of animals. They don't have too many thoughts. They only think about practicing swords and becoming stronger. Keeping the heart of a child led to their swordsmanship advancing by leaps and bounds. Today, they thought they could beat Mahawk, but they lasted less than 10 minutes. Baboon. Baboon. The baboons pointed at Mahawk, gesticulated, and seemed to ask why he had become so strong. The baboons who failed didn't want to leave, they wanted to find out what went wrong. They also want to be strong, and they want to improve as fast as Mahawk. You don't need to think about it, you won't learn it. Mahawk laughed loudly. It's not that I underestimate you, even if I tell you, you can't learn it. So, just accept failure. It is impossible for you to enter that world in your lifetime. It's not that I underestimate you, it's that you have no talent. Baboon. Baboon. Hiss. A group of baboons were in a hurry. They grinned and came up one by two, threatening Mahawk. They didn't rush forward, and they still understood the reason why they couldn't beat them. But Chen Qingtian, they can beat them. Opening his teeth and claws, he roared at Chen Qingtian. Mahawk folded his hands to watch the show, not going to help. Baboons, you help me get him. Chen Qingtian was speechless, put down his teacup, and glanced back. Just a look, a group of arrogant baboons, one or two got down. 1 second, one glance, they all got down, shivering. Baboon. Baboon. A group of baboons clasped their hands and begged Chen Qingtian to let them go. The coercion came quickly and disappeared quickly. The baboons got up and walked away without looking back. All of a sudden, the surroundings became quiet. Chen Qingtian picked up the teacup and took a sip of tea. Look at what? Beside, Mahawk looked at the old man in surprise. What did you just do? Why did they get down? It was an indescribable feeling, the bouncing baboons all fell down at once. The baboon who wants to be strong in his life, seeing Chen Qingtian is like seeing a ghost. What kind of ability is that, so terrifying? He didn't feel it, but the baboons, fear, Mahawk could see it in their eyes. Nothing. A group of beasts also want to show off in front of the old man. If it weren't for your face, they would have been scumbags long ago. The coercion dissipated a little bit, and the baboons got down. With a little more force, they will be crushed to nothing. Mahawk was shocked. What kind of ability is this? Chen Qingtian touched his head. How should I put it? The old man is not a pure swordsman, you should have noticed it. Mahawk nodded. This fact, he could see it from the first sight. This old man only minored in swordsmanship. Even so, his swordsmanship surpassed himself. The terrifying talent, as well as the terrifying strength, made people feel sad. Let me tell you, swordsmanship is one of the old man's abilities, and it's not an outstanding ability. Mahawk nodded in agreement. He was really not good, he beat me up. Did you continue to say that your other abilities are even better, and then pretend to be awesome? Next, Mahawk anticipated what Chen Qingtian would say. Chen Qingtian said with satisfaction, the child can be taught. That's right. I'm very strong. I don't know which one is the strongest. I can't help it. I have a good talent and a good study. I can learn a little about everything. I'm a grand master in everything. Lose it. It's not very strong, it's the world's first-class one. Hey, I don't want to. The main reason is that I have nothing to do and learn a little bit of everything. I didn't expect to get a good result. What do you think the old man can do, and the old man doesn't want to learn, hey? With a sigh, Mahawk was deeply shocked. F*K, you really put a lot of money on it. Can you stop being so arrogant? I know you are awesome, can you restrain yourself a little bit? Chen Qingtian added. Practice casually, the swordsmanship has reached today's level, maybe it's because the talent is too good, haha. Don't be discouraged, one day, you can reach the realm of the old man, believe in yourself, you can. Mahawk spoke cheaply and asked, how many years? Chen Qingtian took it seriously. He thought for a moment and replied, according to your current practice, it will take at least 10 years. It is still the most conservative. It depends on your talent. If you can practice diligently and don't be lazy, 10 years is enough. Catch up with the old man's swordsmanship realm today. The premise is that the old man has not improved. If you are promoted, it may be a bit difficult for you to catch up with the old man in this life. This old man is not bragging. As far as this old man's talent is concerned, he can beat many people for a few blocks. In addition to the old man cheating, you said how could you catch up with me? Chen Qingtian patted Mahawk on the shoulder and comforted. It's only a dozen years, and it will pass soon. The old man is afraid that if you give you more than 10 years, you will not be able to catch up with the old man. If the old man dies, you still haven't caught up with the old man. How sad you say it is. My husband, I feel sorry for you. However, it is impossible for the old man to die in front of you. According to the current lifespan of the old man, Mahawk is dead, and he is still at his peak. Other people's peak state is 20 to 30 years, Chen Qingtian's is different. There are still many years, the exact number of years, I don't know. Right now, he might still be in his infancy. Mahawk. I'll go, teacher, are you so capable? At least 70 years old now, you actually said that I will die before you. What a shocking statement. Do you think I, Mahawk, will die young? Terrible, terrible. Teacher, it's impossible. Don't worry. If it doesn't work for 10 years, then 30 years. 30 years later, I'll be a middle-aged greasy man at the most, and I'm still at the peak. I'm afraid that when the time comes, teacher, you can still do it. It's hard to say if you can see me at my peak. Your lifespan cannot be very long, not more than 10 years, not 30 years. 30 years later, when you are over 100 years old, I don't believe you are still alive. There are not many people who live forever. As far as he knows, many people only have a lifespan of 100 years. Unless some special people ate special devil fruit. As for the teacher, he didn't know if he had any special surgery. It is said that op fruit can perform a longevity operation, sacrifice the devil fruit owner, and give others longevity. I don't know if it is true. At that time, even if I am the strongest swordsman in the world, I may not be happy. Without you, teacher, who will I share with? You like pretend, right? I'll come too. It's not that the disciple is cursing the old man to die, but that you won't live that long. Chen Qingtian picked his nose. He really was his good disciple. He always wanted to let the old man die. Ahem. You're thinking too much, Mahawk. I'm not joking with you. Chen Qingtian said, I have nothing else but a long lifespan. It's conservatively estimated that I can live until your next life. No, teacher, are you a turtle? After living so long, I can't think of other animals except tortoises. Chen Qingtian was seen through by others, and this is the first person to see through himself. Yes, Mahawk, you are very good. Haha. I was discovered by you. Haha. I didn't expect that the old man had been hiding for so many years, but I was still discovered by you. Mahawk pouted, not believing Chen Qingtian's nonsense at all. Stop joking. Teacher, you are human. How could you be a tortoise? Mahawk said again. Even if you eat the tortoise fruit, you can't live that long, right? Chen Qingtian nodded. Don't tell me, Mahawk. The tortoise fruit is indeed good for longevity. Do you want to eat one? There are also many kinds of tortoise fruits, and there are chances to encounter them. There is only one Xuanwu form, there is no second one. There are still derivatives. Forget it, I don't want it. Mahawk refused without saying a word. He's a swordsman and won't eat devil fruit. You don't need other abilities, swordsman, what you want is purity. If you want to be a swordsman, or even a great swordsman, you will be ridiculed by other swordsmen if you have other abilities. Turtles are so ugly. The second is ugly, turning into a turtle, isn't it? Wouldn't it be even uglier if it was in the form of a human or animal, with a tortoise shell on its back, like a tortoise? This is not a typical green hat, forget it, let's be a swordsman. Longevity, Mahawk. Don't want. Very handsome. Fart. Do you really not think about it? You go. It is impossible to think about it in this life. Mahawk is going to practice and cannot be disturbed by the teacher. He sensed the breath of all things, but could not cut them off. It seems a bit difficult to achieve Chen Qingtian's step. Branches, split stones, he tried it, it didn't work. How can not do? If you don't know what the problem is, ask Chen Qingtian. This problem is very simple, your strength is not enough, and you don't have enough understanding of the breadth of all things. When you have enough of both, it's easy to cut through stone. Picking up the branch, Chen Qingtian gave him another show. Simple and easy. No effort. See, you need to concentrate your efforts, 1 point, cut the breath, and follow the lines, it's very easy to cut. You need to exercise your strength, come here, just make a heavy knife for you. Find a high-density seastone head and make him a sword, a pei, and no front. The weight is very heavy, almost the same weight as an adult. Then, you will practice with it every day from now on. Swinging a sword can only be done tens of thousands of times a day. Not much, like this every day, don't be lazy. What? Tens of thousands of times. Mahawk's eyes widened, unable to believe the numbers he heard. Is it hard? Mahawk nodded. Tens of thousands of times, it's kind of torture. Okay. Then 100,000 times, you can do it. Mahawk. I didn't agree, wait, don't mess around. Chen Qingtian didn't give him a chance to talk nonsense, turned around and sat down, slowly tasting the tea. 100,000 sword swings is nothing to Mahawk. According to the speed at which he swings the sword, it can be done in a day, and even if he speeds up, it doesn't need a day. The premise is to swing his black knife, not this heavy sword, the weight of the two is not at the same level. He turned over a dozen times the weight and held it in his hand. The weight made the veins in his arms stand out. Lift it up, use a little force, wave it up and down, a gust of wind blows by. Thick and solid, with no feeling in the arm, Mahawk frowned, and swung the épée 100,000 times, which was challenging his limit. Don't look at me, do it quickly, I believe you can. A word of encouragement, never dry. There was no real reward. Chen Qingtian left a word and went to sit and drink tea. Leaving Mahawk alone in place, unable to do anything, he could only follow orders and swing the épée 100,000 times. 100 times before, I didn't feel it. It's not a problem that Mahawk's hands can hold heavier things, only 100 caddies. After 1,000 times, his hands were a little labored, sore, and started to sweat. The arm started to get tired. He doesn't care about appreciation, he's just a little tired. Continue to wave, until the limit, he will not give up. Arm. Mahawk murmured, the weight makes the arms sore, my hands. At 3,000 times, his arms became heavy. It was very heavy, as if it would be impossible to hold the épée at any time. Stopping, Mahawk carefully observed the épée. Look at your arms again. Why are you tired if you haven't reached the limit? The soreness appeared, indicating that his body was beginning to feel tired. Having not experienced this feeling for a long time, Mahawk thought about it and continued to swing his sword. 4,999. 5,000. After completing the 5,000th time, he has achieved a small achievement. There is still a long way to go before the 100,000th time. But he was not in a hurry, he took his time, step by step. 5,000 times completed, followed by 10,000 times. Then 20,000, 30,000 times. The goal, go step by step. Don't think about completing it in one go, it is unlikely to be achieved. Mahawk is practical. Whatever you do it first, don't think about whether you can do it. Get moving and think about other things. He practiced hard, since the old man said it was useful, he would not doubt it. Holding a heavy object can increase strength, he himself has a basic judgment. Mahawk will not refuse anything that is good for him. Trust the old man. Trust your own judgment. Chen Qingtian was relieved. Mahawk didn't ask, and didn't doubt himself. Only cultivation is in my eyes, cultivation first, and other things, don't worry about it. I am also happy and relaxed, so I don't have to worry about it so much. Worrying too much is bad for your health. For yourself, enjoy it slowly. Drink tea and chat. Blue. The phone rang. Chen Qingtian took out his phone and connected, it was his son Garp's voice. He found it again. He opened his mouth and asked, Father, where are you now? Have you come back? Chen Qingtian put down his teacup, poured tea for himself slowly, and did not rush to answer Garp. The more anxious he is to find himself, it proves that he is miserable. Some things need to be done by Grandpa himself, instead of asking for help. You are a grandfather, what you promised, of course you do it yourself. Father, are you listening to me? Father, speak up. Yeah. There was a cry, it was a child crying. Garp hurried to take care of the child, and after a while, the cry of the child stopped. Garp lowered his voice and asked quietly, Father, where did you go back? Tell me. So anxious. So flustered. Garp, scared. Terrified of being tortured. These days are too miserable, not for human beings. He didn't know how to spend the rest, alone, taking care of the children. Sengoku and Xiaohei didn't help. They're busy, unlike Garp, who don't have much to do. There are many things that he doesn't need to solve. Father, are you there? I'm not here. Garp. Father, are you listening to me? Are you back? Chen Qingtian picked his nose. I'm back, wait a little longer, we'll be there soon. Garp. Hold on a little longer, Father, I'll be back soon. Garp asked. How soon? Days, or a week, or a month? Without a specific time, Garp is not going to be fooled. You said the same thing last time. As a result, after so long, you not only did not appear, but disappeared. If you don't call and ask, you won't find me. It's horrible, I'm being tortured, and you, having fun outside. Forehead? Chen Qingtian smiled awkwardly. Unexpectedly his son Garp became smarter, that's amazing. Boy, you are not fooled. That's right, he has been fooled countless times, if he is still fooled this time, he will be really stupid. Ahem, soon, don't ask so many questions, just ask quickly. Whatever you ask, I am fast. Come back soon, don't ask. There is no specific time. Chen Qingtian himself doesn't know the specific time, how could you know? Chen Qingtian, who is happy with the situation, goes wherever he goes. Go back after playing enough, come out next time, I don't know when. While you are young, have fun. Father, can you be more reliable and stop playing with me? Every time I say soon, 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 I don't see you coming back. Can you give me an accurate answer? Are you planning to come back and help me? Garp understood that his father had no intention of coming back. He wanted to suffer alone, to be tortured alone. Terrible, Garp can't imagine staying longer. He didn't want to stay in the days when there was no hope. Terrible. Garp, don't worry, be back soon, trust father, I'm on my way. You wait, soon. Toot. After speaking, hang up the phone without giving Garp a chance to refute. Come on. My son Garp, you can do it. Don't think about throwing away the shopkeeper. According to Garp's personality, it will definitely be. Maybe the kid Garp gave up after being tortured for a while, and left it to the little girl Dayton. A big man with a small child will indeed go crazy. Not everyone is like Lousy, not afraid of children, nor crazy. As for children, it is normal to be playful, as long as Chen Qingtian cares for them. As long as they are not bare children, let them do everything else. Unlike Garp, he does everything with fear. Chen Qingtian let go of his hands and feet and let them be self-reliant. Boys, you must know how to do it yourself and have enough food and clothing. Garp. Ah, you bastard father, you actually hung up on me again. Called back, was hung up. Can't get through, damn it, he cursed a few times, then gave up. Alone, continue to face the horrific child. 29,999. 30,000. 30,000 times, done. Morning passed. At lunchtime, Mahak, who has obsessive-compulsive disorder, must reach the full number before putting down the épée. I'm hungry, it's time to cook, I can't let myself and the old man be hungry. He consciously cooks. Chen Qingtian is very satisfied with Mahak's attitude. This is the person who does great things. Consciousness, self-discipline, what should be done, always keep in mind, and will not find excuses to forget. Don't want other people to help. Mahak gathers most of the advantages of a person, it is the dream lover of many beauties. Lunch. Very simple, eat steak. The two sat facing each other, saving time, and eating outside. Elegant Mahak, enjoy the moment. Eat it bite by bite, don't gobble it up, and don't eat indiscriminately. It took half an hour to eat and drink. After cleaning up the dishes, he continued to practice with the épée. 100,000 times, he's going to finish today. Mealtime is also considered a rest time to relax your arms. I practice 30,000 times in the morning, I am very tired, my arms have to be overloaded, and after rest, I am still very tired. There is no painful tearing feeling, he trains every day, his muscles already have memories. Holding the épée, he swung it by himself, and silently recited the number of times in his heart. How many times? Count Shin Su. Do not allow yourself to be distracted, and do not allow yourself to think about other things. Only do one thing with one heart, never think too much, and never be lazy. Afternoon passed. I did another 100,000 times, reaching 70,000 times of swinging the sword. Make dinner. Have a meal. Keep training. After another 3 hours, he completed the last 30,000 exercises. One day, the schedule is full. There is no extra time, even if it is tea, I will not go. After practicing the sword, clean it, and before going to bed, hold the black knife and enter the world of breathing to practice. It was another hour before he was willing to put down the black knife. Deeply aftertaste a day of practice, how much harvest, and how much insight. Every night, do an analysis of yourself. After analyzing what he got today, thinking about what to do tomorrow, and after making arrangements, he fell asleep. One day, enrich the past. The second day and the third day were spent like this. Mahak has long been used to the lonely life. Practicing strength cannot be done overnight, it takes a long time to practice. Swordsman. Improve yourself every day. The practice behind them is the most assiduous of swordsmen. What you see is their brilliant side, but you don't know the hardships of their crazy training behind them. 10 years of work off stage, 1 minute on stage. What they are talking about is that if they want to be a swordsman, or even a great swordsman, they can't do it just by sitting. It takes a lot of sweat, even blood, to become a swordsman in the end. In the blink of an eye, a month has passed. Mahak trained hard for a month and compressed his time into the daytime. The time at night is used for meditation, comprehending the black knife, and comprehending the world of breathing. He is constantly compressing time and giving himself more time to practice. In addition to practicing swords, there are other things to do. Plan your schedule and make progress every day. After a month, his progress is visible to the naked eye. After finding the pattern, he didn't practice randomly like before. Today, he wields an épée. Cutting stones, maybe in his eyes, today, he can complete the cutting. Close your eyes and concentrate. Be attributed to one point, all power, all concentrated in one point. No explosive energy, no overly flashy moves. Simple to ordinary sword, lift it up, cut it down. Cutting along the texture of the breath, the stone, like pudding, was easily cut. Mahak opened his eyes and looked at the stone in front of him. Looking at the épée in his hand, it can cut without a black knife. He was so excited that he pulled out the black knife and tried it. Feel the texture of the black knife, and then observe the texture of the stone. In the same way, focus your willpower and tap lightly. The point of the stone is found, and the texture is cut along the point. Stone's breath, cut off. Then, cut along the grain. Within a second, the stone was split. There is no sword energy, and no extra power. Relying on physical strength and know-how, he did it. Cut stone without using your own sword energy. I did it? Turns out, it really can be done. The teacher is not lying to himself, what he says is true. It's done, like a dream, a month of hard training has paid off. Even Mahak couldn't help being excited. Excitedly looking at his hands, looking at the épée and the black knife, he was very excited at the moment, and wanted to share it with someone. Chen Qingtian applauded. Papa, yes, I didn't expect you to understand it so quickly. Mahak, congratulations, the way of swords has entered a new realm. Your swordsmanship, starting today, is getting started. No longer a layman before, he truly comprehended the profound meaning of kendo. In the future, you can say loudly that you are a swordsman. A real swordsman. Thank you, teacher. Thanks to the teacher for his help. Without the help of the teacher, he may have to take a lot of detours. Relying on one's own perception, it may be possible to do it, but it will take a few more years. Chen Qingtian took over his thanks, and there was nothing he dared to do. Come on, try this. Blade, you can cut stone. So, what about the branches? You try it. Mahak took the branch excitedly, he played with it and felt it. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. The world into which, the world that breathes, is still wondrous. He touched the breath of the branch, and the two merged into one. Then, open your eyes. Stab out. Cut along the grain of the stone. A sword. A lightning-fast sword, simple and plain. No flashy display. Boom. Stone, separated. There was a loud bang on the ground. Mahak looked at the branch in surprise, there was no damage. The branch touched the stone, unexpectedly, the branch was intact, and the stone was cut. The previous worldview has been overturned. If another person told him, he would definitely sneer. But right now, I did it myself. It turns out that many fixed things are not fixed, but that the world they see is different from what they see. What we see and think is different. He understood this sentence. Haha, I really did. Haha, branches can really cut rocks, haha. Excited, he laughed. It's true, it's really done. He pulled out the black knife, and in an instant, the sword was full of energy. His strength has improved several levels. Mahak is obsessed with feeling, his strength, very strong. Chen Qingtian said, the world we see is different. Not only a branch, but even a grass can do it. Don't be proud, don't be arrogant, you just took the first step. There is still a long way to go, the way of the sword, there is no end.